Hello. How are we doing? Let's just get it set up. Make sure the camera is good. Turn off the lights. Oh, camera's not good. Hello. Hello, hello. How are we all doing? Whoa, what have I walked into here? Magnadra. 10 gifted memberships from can't speak today. Magnadra. Thank you so much. Make sure if you have got a gifted membership, do a bit of a thanks to Magnadra. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support as always. Yes, I am slightly more bolder than I used to be. I've apparently enlisted the services of a professional hairdresser and actually got my hair cut properly rather than me doing it for the first time. And it turns out, you know, when they say anyone can cut your hair, you know, cut yourself, you can't. I've been making myself go bald apparently. So I figured I'd get it cut before we go away. The only thing is, because just like, you know, you're going bald and everything, right? My hairline's up here. So if I do that, it's like half the hair is like there, not there. And I was like, I'm trying to avoid going for like the whole, you know, white supremacist look. I don't really want that, to be honest. It's not really for me. So we're just trying to make it, you know, we're trying to basically keep the hair growth going for as long as possible before eventually the baldness like conquers and takes over. But as we're going to Vegas, I figured, you know, rejig up. I haven't been to a proper like hairdresser, believe it or not, since COVID, because, you know, COVID happened and you just kind of like, you had to figure it out yourself, right? You had to do it yourself, and I just didn't ever go back. But apparently he was like I walked in and I was pretty much like, right, your mission today is make me look less bald in whatever way you can using what I've given you. It was kind of like, I've grown it out. I've deliberately not cut it for like 3 weeks. This is what I've got. Do your best. And towards the end, he was like, right, I don't want to cut any more at the top because I don't know who cut your hair last time, but they did a really bad job and they cut too much at the top, which is why you're looking even more bald than you actually are. You need to let this grow. And I was like, that would have been me. I was the one that cut my own hair. Which was a bit of a oops. So lesson learned. Don't try to become an amateur hairdresser because you can't. I was fine. I was like, it's absolutely fine. I used to just basically, I bought like a £30 pair of clippers, and when it got too long, I just go zoop, which is probably not the best. Yeah. You Alex, the first thing in the bag that I'm packing is suntan lotion. I'm well versed with the art of white people in sunny deserts, like white people, like as in pale people, does not go well with sunny weather. I actually managed to get sunburn in an overcast, literally the first day that I landed in Peru. It was overcast and cloudy, and I still incinerated my neck so much that it actually crisped. It was really bad. It's almost like I melted. So, but that's been, my day has been like so stressful today. I've been trying to sort everything out. Yeah, exactly, Bryce. You know, I mean, to some extent in my head, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go bald, so I might as well just do it myself, right? Why am I wasting money on it? But now that I've had it cut properly for the first time in like 3 years, it feels like, maybe even 4. I don't know how long's COVID been. You can tell the difference, right? You can see the difference. And I just, before we went to Vegas, I wanted to like get it properly cut. Just, you know, I'm going to be out and socializing, more pictures. I don't want it to be like my moppy bald head all over the place. Pretty much that's what I did, Gore, except I just did that whoop. I literally used to do whoop, 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 all one size, the longest size possible. So £30, that's some heavy clippers. That's a good one, Danda. I like that. I like that. So yeah, so I had to do that. I had to sort out a bunch of finances, just, you know, like things I've been putting off for like months. I was like, right, get your life together, you know, order some fresh clothes. So we got some, you know, as they call it in America, now that we're going to America, better drip, you know, better fit. I don't know what you call it. Basically just clothes I haven't bought in like 12 months. So, you know, it's just been one of those days, sorting myself out, getting ready, because like it's less than a week before we go to Vegas. This is probably the last stream, unless some, I don't know, source of inspiration kicks in and I decide I want to stream, until we go to Vegas for TwitchCon. So the next stream, if we don't live, obviously we might live stream while we're out there or something. You'll probably see there's lots of content that's going to come out from me and the team while we're out there. But officially, I'm not back in country till like the 25th. So, you know, depending on how the jet lag is, we might not have a stream till the 26th, potentially. We'll see. So, were you tempted by the rainbow shards this time? Do you know what? It's a question I was going to ask chat about this. I've got 50, right? I always do I got 50 here and you need 60. I always do the Sand Devil tournaments because I use the Sand Devil tournaments as like, that's the designated time I get oil, right? This when these things are up, that's when I dedicate my time to get oil, right? So I went and got the prisms here, and then I was like, okay, well, they're going to probably give us one more. And they've done what I suggested they should do with these prism systems, where every time they put a prism shard on, yes, you can buy some, but there's always a way that you can earn at least one summon. Now, it is a bit expensive, and that's kind of where I'm like, if I want to get this dragon, I'm going to have to probably put 3,000 worth of energy. Now, I did get my personal reward energy, so I could do it, but I'm just like, one summon for 3,000 energy. But then I look at it and I'm like, well, it's basically a ×2 sacred to get like 2 legendaries that would be really, really valuable, which is Rhodas and Knut. And I suppose as well, some of these epics, actually, shockingly, how many are there? 1, 2, 3 of these epics are required for this fusion, right? You need Illusinia, Endalia, Furgun, Dejala. So actually we've got Furgun, Endalia, Dejala. So actually 3 of these epics as well is required for the fusion. And I don't have a Rotus and I'd like a second Gnut. So I'm like, I don't know. Let's do a poll to start this off. Is 3,000 energy for a prism pull worth it? You be the arbiters of my decision making, because I can easily do, you know, 3,000 here, no time. That won't take me long because I can do, like, my dragon team's fast, right? It's like 20, it's like 30-second team. I don't really run, I should run stage 20 to make it more efficient, but I don't have a stage 20 team anymore, so I just basically run this, and it, you know, it's fast. It wouldn't take me long to do it. No, it would be 3,000 energy to basically give me a summon, because I'm on 50 Acrobat, right? So I've got 50 out of 60. The last amount of fragments I need is from Dragon. So it's like, it's basically the decision is, if I don't get it, I'll be on 50. If I get it, I can summon. The other risk you've got with prisms is what happens if the next prism event they do has legendaries that I don't really want, and then the energy that I spent on Sand Devil is basically wasted on a bad legendary. That's not a bad way to start. So it's kind of like, do I want to burn all, because obviously the prisms will auto summon, so it won't auto summon this time, but if the next summon is only like 20 summons, like 20 prisms to make a summon, then it's going to automatically summon these whether I want to or not in the next prism. This pool is a pretty good pool. The next pool, I might already have the legendaries. It's very difficult to know. So it's kind of like, if I don't do the 3,000 energy, then I'll be stuck with 50 that I might potentially automatically lose. If I do it, then I can pull for these champions and I might get a Rotus. Chances are I'll walk away with an epic, right? I know the odds of one pull being a Rotus is very low, but it's the best opportunity that I'm ever going to get a Rotus. So thanks, Mo. Appreciate it. I mean, it technically is it is a sacred, right? This is equivalent to a sacred in the sense that, yes, I don't get to keep it, but it's giving me the best sacred odds you could ever get, right? 60 prisms is the equivalent value of a ×2 sacred pull. You just can't save them. So in essence, it would be 3,000 energy for a sacred shard pull. Of course, Dutchy, but what I'm saying is, do I... Like, what I'm trying to basically translate in my brain is, if I don't use these 50, then it could automatically summon on a pool of champions that maybe it's a total waste, right? There's always a chance that I maybe get there's like 3 epics here that I don't own because I had to use them for a fusion. That is required now for another fusion. So even 3 of this epic pool is worthwhile. And if I do get a legendary, well, 2 of them are 100% used. Actually, if I get a Brogni, I can make a +4 Brogni, you know? So it's not as valuable now that Cadaver's nerfed, but yeah, I just don't know. I've been on the fence with it all day. So what am I going to spend my energy on? Well, I could get some masteries done. I could farm some other things. By the way, guys, they may have done this IPR. Look at that. These crests are really good. The only problem is they didn't really plan for 12-year-olds on the internet. So as much as it's like really cool, they've done a really good job making very unique system, right? They could have easily just slapped on 5 different options and off you go. You can make so many different crests and emblems. They've done a great job. Only problem is there's a couple of 12-year-olds. There's a couple of 12-year-olds who apparently... like, clearly they didn't idiot-proof it, you know? I know it's all meant to be fun and a joke and everything, but I mean, come on. Yeah, Gallifrey is probably bad, isn't it? I can't even find Gallifrey. Was it Gallifrey? Oh, I mean, they've changed it now, probably. I mean, it's funny and all, but the problem is, it's a problem for them, believe it or not, because I would imagine they want kids to play the game, and if that's not policed, then they're going to get in trouble for it at some point. I know it's like stuff you see on a school ground, like, haha, you know, someone drew, like, you know. I'm just saying, like, I bet they're sitting there in the office now going, you know what, of all the crazy, wonderful, creative things they could do, we had to deal with a couple of idiots who basically drew a penis on a screen, you know? Like, come on. Like, look how creative some of these are, right? They're really good. They all look so unique and different. It's actually, like, give them credit. I know this is like, people would argue this isn't a good amount of, this isn't a good way to spend development time. It doesn't add any value in terms of like fixing the game's problems. I get all that. That's a whole nother topic of conversations. But these sorts of little things where they're not tied to any direct revenue, they're not like in it to make them sell it. Okay, yeah, it's probably a gem refresh cost, but that's like incidental. But they've delivered a system that isn't just a slap it in there because someone's asked for it. This is a system where they have they've thought about it. They've come up with a lot of creative ways you can use it, and they've made it deep enough that you get a lot of diversity. Like a lot of these ones, apart from the starter one, they're all somewhat unique and different. It's very difficult to basically not be like, a lot of these systems you tend to get forced into an archetype. You get like 1 of 8 choices, right? So eventually you see the same thing. There's so much variability here. You know, they've done a really good job, and these sorts of things are very important to help people like collaborate is the right word. I don't really know if that's the right word. Basically build good clan and communities, right? Because these little things help the community like remain together and have a little bit of conversation and talk. It's not just like, oh, I'm in a clan because it gives me clan boss rewards, right? Now it's like I can like represent my clan and I can feel a little bit more like more of an identity to a clan. So in my opinion, it's really important. And the biggest thing about it is the fact that they were willing, so I'm just looking to change the playlist a little bit at the same time. They're willing to basically do development stuff that isn't tied to revenue, right? This is one of the first releases that I can remember in a very, very long time. They haven't implemented it to sell something, right? There's nothing in this thing that is related to selling. I'm sure there's elements of it you could argue are pay to win, like like not so much pay to win, but like re-rolling it with gems or something like that. But generally, they've implemented something here that they don't expect to necessarily make or sell any products or shards or anything with it. And I applaud them for that. Let's see if we can find a better playlist, shall we? Let's go for... Ooh, I don't know. What are we feeling today? This song's a bit, like, annoying. Let's have a bit of Sounds of Europe. Could be fun. Yeah, so like there's some element of it, right? Don't get me wrong, there's always elements that of a refresh. But I mean, to be fair, if you get it right the first time, you don't have to pay for it, so. Yeah, clearly they've had a course correction towards you know, some of the quality of life stuff here, right? For example, right now I can go through the game and go, do you know what? I never want to get this alert again. I don't care. Stop telling me about that. Such a good feature. Oops. Right. Don't care about that anymore. Who else? Let's see. This dude. Don't care. I've no worries about this anymore. This one here. Look. Stop telling me that warning. Don't care. And it's because it's based on hero type. It's like well thought out. They could have done it per hero. They thought out quite correctly. It shouldn't just be an all or nothing. It should be certain champions I don't want to get a warning about. So let me turn it off for certain roles. It's a very, very good implementation. You know, and a lot of people will sometimes criticize me for being overtly critical at times, but I always call it how I see it. If there is praise to be given, I'll give them praise. If there is criticisms to be given for whatever reason, then they'll receive criticisms from me. And this patch so far is very difficult for me to find anything wrong with it. They fixed Cadaver. They finally fixed Emic. Emic works now. I know it was kind of like quietly put in because it's been so long, but this now works. It won't like, you won't do it from Guardian or Bulwark. They've actually recoded the way that Bulwark works entirely. This is much more like how Ally Protection works now, the way that it's coded. Before it was coded as almost like a strengthen, now it's coded like a damage transfer. So Bulwark is completely, you know, essentially the effect is the same, but the way that it works is different. So does Islin work? We're going to find out. Yeah, you haven't missed Islin. We started a bit early today because I do want to try and get some decent sleep in before we go away, because I've been working, like, I've been up till 3 in the morning most days and waking up at like 9 to crack on and work, and it's been rough. I believe the Infinity, I thought the Infinity comp wouldn't work, but as people pointed out, the Infinity comp can reach like unlimited levels. The problem with the Infinity comp is it will take you a lot longer to one key, but with the instant clan boss, does it really matter? I don't know if Infinity comp worked with the instant clan boss, but as far as I'm aware, Infinity comps should still one key in clan boss. It just won't do billions of damage. Yeah, Suzerain is fixed as well. They've basically fixed... They fixed Emic, they fixed Suzerain, they fixed Cadaver, they fixed the issues with Bulwark, they introduced a new champion as well, and then obviously all the quality of life stuff, so it's a start. And as I said, I've been critical of them the last couple of weeks because I felt like they were putting their head in the sands. They've actually fixed a lot of stuff. Islin's passive was fixed last patch. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this, actually. I got to say, it's the right thing to do in the wrong way of doing it. If a UX designer looks at this, he's having a fit of heart attack, right? Yeah, Islin was fixed last patch. This is not the sounds of Europe. It's just like weird music. No. Let's go with this one. See what this looks like. My Infinity Comp 1 keyed about an hour ago. Yeah, I don't think the Infinity Comps are ruined by the change. They're just not going to do billions anymore. So should I fuse Pan the Bone at Malkith? Well, it depends what you need, Ruz. If you want a buff extender, Malkith. If you haven't completed the Demon Spawn Faction Wars, Malkith. If you want a Fire Knight option, Pan the Bowman. Pan the Bowman has more endgame usages than Malkith. Malkith has more progression usages than Pan. But yeah, a UX designer looking at this would be like, this is awful, okay? So if I want to click on this and I want to understand what decreased defense is, and I like, give me the just decreased defense, because I'm clicking this button from here because I want to know what these do. If I want all buffs and debuffs, I can send me to that somewhere else, right? This should be filtered down. The other thing that's terrible about this, look at the language they use, okay? Here, they're talking about decreases the champion's battle speed by 15%. Down here, it decreases the current value. So what? This isn't the current value? Why is this different? Decreases the current value, but it doesn't decrease the current value of the speed. So you're saying that this only works on the base speed, the top speed. Syntax is so important. All of it is current value, but the fact they've only called it out here makes you wonder, is it not the current value here, even though it is? They also don't specify, is it additive or multiplicative, which is very important. Decreased crit damage is multiplicative. Increased crit damage is additive. And you might be wondering, oh, that's just technical jargon, it's math. It's a massive difference, because if I've got 200% crit damage and I apply myself an increased crit damage, I have 230% crit damage, right? I just gained 30% more. It's not multiplicative, you just add it in. However, if I have 200% crit damage and I receive a debuff, it's multiplicative. So it's actually 200 times 0.75. So I actually only have 150 decreased crit, I only have 150 crit damage, because 25% of 200% is 50. So it's not reducing my crit damage by a flat 25%, it's reducing it by 50% because it's multiplicative. These are features and facts that are important for people if you're going to add the context here. And some of them, like, what's the point of you telling me what Rage does here? That should be in the boss guide section. What's the point of you telling me Life Barrier? I can't place Life Barrier. Poison Cloud, I can't place that. Vengeance, I can't use that. Serpent's Will, I can't use that. Lightning Orb, okay, that's fine, but that's in the Blessing. I don't need to know about this. Taunt, there's got to be an essay for it, right? What else we got this? These, I don't need to know these. They should be in the boss guide. Iron Brand, I don't, like, there's so much noise here that from the purpose of this window is to explain what this does. If I'm clicking here, I want to know what this does. I don't want to know what Poison Cloud does. I don't care. It's too much information. So what you do is you inevitably make it harder for people to understand what's going on because you've given them too much. But it's the right direction. It's the right thing to do. It's just the UX designer in me is going, this is awful. That it wasn't built by a UX designer. It was gone like someone basically said, oh, we need to tell people what buffs are. Okay, we'll just create one page. It's easier. So, great work with the website rework. That website rework, like, I think I lost like one of my 9 lives yesterday. It all went okay until I did some other changes, and then I didn't think of the context of it, so I was fixing things on the fly, and then the caching situation where I couldn't force local browsers to actually pick up the new style sheets. But yes, the new website, the new champion guides, you know, I still got to do the damage ratings, and there are some multipliers that I need to format back into their original shape, because there are some multipliers that are incredibly complicated. The way that we're doing it now is we're trying to be more accurate and more dynamic with it rather than being more fixed. So I just have to basically rewrite a couple of multipliers to improve it. The reason why the damage ratings aren't there is we're basically redoing them. We're redoing the equation because, you know, things that were godlike 2 years ago might not be godlike anymore. Stat bloat has changed, so I need to change my default build parameters. There's also some passives now that work with crit damage, so I need to assess the benefit of multiplying your own crit damage and whether that has an impact in terms of your damage ranking. So I need to rewrite some of the code for that and rewrite some of the math logic, which is why it says coming soon, because I really wanted to get the champ guides up before we went away to Vegas so that we can get the mythical guides done. Because the mythical guides now, if you haven't seen it, if you go to like one of the mythical champions, we actually have ratings for both forms individually, because we kind of see at HH Gaming, we kind of see mythical champions as 2 champions in one, but you never play both roles at the same time, right? So for example, if I was lucky enough and stupid enough to make this champion, then I would be looking at this champion as 2 separate champions that I can play, but not at the same time, right? I'm either looking at like a progression-based CC champion, or I'm looking at it as a damage-dealing ally attacker. I'm not building it for both, so therefore we decided to rate them as 2 separate champions. So we decided to rate them as 2 separate champions. That's why on the tier list they're going to show up as 2 separate champions as well, right? So we're rating them based on both forms so that you can build them like on the approach of how you would use each form. I think that's better, personally. I think that's the way that you should do it, because like, for example, someone like the dwarf is a great example here, right? In his base form, he's basically a scaling nuker, a bit like Mountain King. That's his job. But in the alternate form, he's an ally protector, so the ratings for clan boss vary different. He's probably a 5 out of 5 in his alternate form for clan boss. In the starting form, he's probably like a 3 just because he hits hard. So that's how we decided to do it. So on the website now, you can actually switch the forms, you can switch the skills. We're going to be switching the splash arts, and there's lots of different things that I want to do. But as with anything at the moment, we are like trying to maintain quality and efficiency. So it's a step in the right direction. But the search bar at the top, a lot of people were asking for a better search. So that was one of the first things I did, was put a search bar in the menu for once, so that everyone can just have a global search that's constantly available. And I think that's better. So no, we basically name them on the tier list Garrel Base and then Garrel Alt. So whenever you're looking at the tier list, you basically will get ratings for Garrel Base, Garrel Alt, Frolny Base, Frolny Alt, Lady Mikage Base, Lady Mikage Alt. The only thing I need to do is get the optimizer ratings updated as well. So the ratings in the optimizer are not loading at the moment, but they will be. So the reason why I said stupid enough, now that they've given me the champions that I need to fuse to make it, I don't know she's worth it, right? The only thing I can think of, the only place that I think she's really, really good potentially is Fire Knight. But the way to make her work is kind of counterproductive and won't work either. You haven't missed the Islin test, no. We're going to be doing the Islin test in a bit, in about in about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Can we get the HH logo to return us to the HH website from the optimizer when clicked? I changed it from that, SGT, because I felt like most people would expect you to stay where you are when you clicked on it, not go outside of the optimizer. So I'd imagine if I changed it to what you'd want, I'd get a number of people going, can you change it back? So I have to find a better option, basically. But yeah, the place that I see the most benefit from her is using her as one of the ally attackers in Finite Hard, because you can extend the buffs that Razelvarg would give you. So using Razelvarg's speed buff, you could essentially get increased attack, increased crit damage, and increased speed on 100% of the time. Now the problem is, you want to really use her with Genzin so that you get the value of this A1. But if you use Genzin, then there's no space for Razelvarg, because you always need 2 ally attackers, and then you need your Karl and Gnut. So it's like, I can't maximize her for Finite Hard, so is she better for it? But that's where I was seeing her used is, you know, if you just sacrifice, say, Longbeard, she would take Longbeard's spot because she has this alternate form for Weaken, right? So what you would do is, when you get to the boss, you would ally attack, yeah, to basically get the ally attack in. Then you would extend the buffs so that everyone gets buff extension. Then next turn, you would metamorph, and then you would place this so that you get the Weaken out as well. And then you basically stuck in this form for a while, I guess. But hopefully by the time you metamorph, you're done. But you could just not put Weaken out as well, but that's what you could do if you just wanted to rely on your ally attack. But that's where I see her having the most amount of value. She's very good in Clan Boss. I think YST, who is in chat right now, hey YST, has tested her, and she's very, very, very good for that. She is the best ally attacker in the game. She's better than Cardiel for ally attacking. But, and here's the but. Here's the but for me. I actually think Werrigan's a better champion. I actually think Tatsu is more interesting of a champion. I actually think Fergun Isbale is more interesting as a champion. I don't know if I want to immediately burn these legendaries for the chance of an ally attacker. I don't know. I know a lot of people will call me like critical or like say, how the hell are you saying that Werrigan is better than the mythical fusion? Honestly, I like Werrigan. I think he's underrated as, like, he's a massive nuker. He hits really, really hard because of his passive. We can't repeat fuse them, that's the problem. I like Werrigan. It's one of the champs I wish I kept. Yes, you can only get it once. So you can see I've got like a lot of them. Like I've got a spare, you know, I've got spare these, but I could probably keep them. I literally just got Colin, Ilsinia, and Endalia recently. I can't remember when I got them, but I basically got a bunch of the epics I didn't have. But I'm not gonna burn these epics. Colin is actually quite good. Ilsinia is quite interesting, and Dahlia's not bad. You know, and Fergun is really good for Bommel. So I don't know, honestly, guys. Put it like this, I'm not in a rush. I'm not that impressed with her. Like, I don't think she's that crazy. She's a good ally attacker, don't get me wrong. I just don't see much use for her, really. I feel like it was a lazy implementation. Right, do you know what I would have done? I would have waited for this new major content piece, and I would have exchanged these fusion items with milestone-based items, so that you don't have to fuse legendary champions to make the mythical, so that you tie achieving the mythical behind the achievement of completing content. To me, this just feels like go summon a bunch of shards and you get yourself a mythical champion. Woo. It's so underwhelming. I'm not that impressed with it. But she's a great champion. Like, she's not a bad champion. I'm not trying to say she's a terrible champion. I'm just saying, is she good enough for me to burn 2 legendaries and potentially, was it 4, 8, 9, 10 epic champions? 2 legendaries and 10 epic champions to make a mythical champion, which is basically a glorified Cardiel Longbeard combo that I might only ever use in Finite Hard if it works. Because she has the Basatha problem, right? This ability here is basically what Basatha's A3 does. It's an identical ability. And the main reason why people don't use Basatha is by the time you get him, you don't need him. And this, I fear, is the same situation here. By the time I care about an AoE stun with decrease in 30%, I don't need to AoE stun with a decrease of 30% turn meter. I don't, like, you could potentially maybe use her as like a sleep champion in Sand Devil. But I feel like Godseeker and Irian Ninja, for me personally, is just more efficient. This is nice, but all you're going to be doing is on a 4-turn cooldown, which is quite long. But there's plenty of other champions now that can basically remove buffs without attacking. You've got a Lady Kimmy. You've got, you know, Wukong can do this better in Hydra than this champion. And then you're basically saying, okay, well, then all she is basically a really good ally attacker, which is kind of only useful in Finite Hard. This is powerful, but I just don't know if you can actually find a situation where you really care about all of these things. And as someone pointed out to me in DMs, this is like a watered-down version of Corvus's ability, where he basically does the same concept, but he brings poisons. He's bringing more to his kit that's actually going to influence the battle. This really, like, this requiring a Shadowkin kind of limits this. If this was anyone, this would be really good. But the fact it's Shadowkin, it forces you into a bit more of a team construct, and that's a bit of a problem. So I'll get her at some point. I just don't think she's like, oh my god, I must go fuse her. Yeah, absolutely. YST's right. Don't go creating all these fusion champions just yet, right? Hold them. Hold them until CVC or Chase, right? This is not going anywhere. You can get yourself some good points. What I will say about, though, Tatsu has a unique ability where she is the only decreased resistance in Force. And we don't know with this bigger than Doom Tower content whether the Force combination with decreased resistance might be very, very powerful. So you might be exchanging a legendary that does something that no one else does, because there isn't another decreased resistance in Force affinity, in favor of a better ally attacker. But she can stun Mithrala Lifebanes. I don't understand how can she stun Mithrala Lifebanes? Well, because she ignores resistance by 20%. Well, that's multiplicative. She ain't gonna get through it. She won't stun Mithrala through that unless she's got increased accuracy. Yeah, she can put increased accuracy on it. I just, you know. And really, does it matter? We'll see what the poll is. What if you don't have Farrakhan? I mean, yeah, you can sub her in. I said, I'm not saying she's a terrible champion by any means. She's probably the best ally attacker in the game. I think what I'm saying for my account, I don't really think that adds a lot of value. So 54% you think it's not worth it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's it, dudes. I'm on the fence about it. I might do it anyway. It's good to see. Is he really? Nari the Lucky? I didn't think he was. Is there some condition with Nari the Lucky, or am I just being an idiot? Oh, there we are then. I'm lying. Ignore me. What is it about... something about Tatsu is unique. I remember it because we were talking about it. Something about her is unique. Maybe it was someone else I was thinking of. Maybe it was Loriaka we were looking at. Oh, it could have been Loriaka. One of the decreased resistance, I remember us talking about it for a while. I think it might have been Loriaka now that I remembered it, where we were basically saying, if you don't do it... Yeah, it's Loriaka. Loriaka is the only non-force decreased resistance. That's it. There's a bunch of force decreased resistance and obviously Supreme Kale, but there's no spirit. I knew there was a champion that we had recently that everyone was like, oh, I don't know about this. And I was like, yeah, but you might need it for future content because of XYZ. So it was Loriaka, yeah. No, I know what you're saying, Acrobat. What I'm saying is... So, like, here's the thing, Acrobat. It's like going, Hoskrul is one of the best epic stun champions in the game. But when you get to my level of progression, you don't use stun. Because stun is useless in Arena. You don't really need to stun anything in Doom Tower because you one-shot it with Seer. I one-shot most bosses, and then bosses where it matters in long-form content, they're immune to stun. So yes, one of the best stun champions in the game. If I was progressing, on my free-to-play, Hoskrul was an absolute god champion. I used him everywhere. He carried the account. But in my main account, he wouldn't even get a sniff. And I think that's what I'm trying to say with her. She's the best ally attack in the game. But ally attack in itself is valuable in very few places. It's great in Clan Boss. It's pretty good in Finite Hard. Somewhat okay in like Hydra, but I don't think that much value. And then in Arena, like it's kind of gone down the window a little bit because the reason why it's good with Cardiel is not the ally attack per se. It's the full cleanse into block debuffs, into a protected revive on death, into the healing, into the speed aura, right? There's lots of things about Cardiel that makes him OP that it isn't just the ally attack. So I just think so, and here's the context to why I'm saying this. You're gonna have to commit a ton of resources. Tatsu is on Hellhades. Why do people keep asking me? People keep saying this. Tatsu is not available on Hellhades.com. It always is. Just Google Tatsu raid and you'll find the post straight away. I don't know why people say it's not available. See, it's there. Actually needs to be re-indexed because we've changed the links now. Yeah, people say it a lot to me, and I'm like, it's I don't really understand it. It's always there. So essentially, I'm like thinking. It's a little bit like I'm applying the pay-to-win mentality here, in the sense that in order for you to get this champion, you're going to have to get lucky. Or you're going to have to spend a lot of money. And by the time you get lucky enough, or you've spent enough money, do you even need the champion anymore? And that is, it's the Doom Tower champion problem all over again. In that, by the time you get those Doom Tower champions, you no longer need them. Like, by the time you get Barsatha, it takes so long, you don't need it anymore. By the time you get Dark Kael, if you started with Dark Kael, you'd be thinking he's the best champion in the game. By the time you get Dark Kael, he has niche usages because of his passive, but very rarely do you use him for a lot of things. I use him in my Dragon team purely because he has he has an debuff extension, right? But there's plenty of champions that do that. I just use it with him because it stops the criticals as well. Is it worth $10 still so to buy some? It depends on what you spend your money on. I will say, as I said, this is the best opportunity for you to get another new, or to get yourself another Rotus, or a first Rotus. You won't find a better one, so. Yeah, but I'm not literally, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's better than Cardiel. I'm saying her ally attack is better than Cardiel, but Cardiel is a way better champion than her because he has more universality. Right, she can't cleanse, he can. He does block debuffs, he has a speed aura, he's got a revive on death, he heals on his A1, he deals damage on his A1. Right, her claim to fame is that ally attack. That's what kind of makes her strong. And I just think by the time you've got these legendary champions and all these epics, I just think it takes too long. And you just don't need it by now, you know? And I think that's problem, is by the time you get the champion for me, you don't need her. So increase accuracy, buff strip. No. Increase accuracy, buff strip. Furgun has some usages in Bommel. Illusinia is not bad for a tertiary Hydra team. Colin is quite good for some of the content. You can't fuse him more than once, no. She is more obtainable than Cardiel, but that's what I think. Anyway, I just think that she's not a bad champion. I just don't know. No, she doesn't. Oh, yeah, okay, so she does. Okay, fair enough, yeah. There's actually quite a lot more champions that have increased accuracy with different things, especially in the Sylvan Watchers, you know? He places increased accuracy. He does Panda Bowman, I think, does. Or was it one of these new ones that came in? Isla. There you go. Let's see. I'm not happy with the way they did the Mythical Fusion. Exactly what you hope they wouldn't do. I just fed like 3 of the needed champions. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's better than I thought. I thought it was going to be 4 legendaries. I actually thought it was going to be 4 rares into 1 epic, and you had to do that 4 times, and then that 4 had to be repeated into 1 legendary, and that had to be done 4 times into the mythical. I would have preferred that. So it was a longer challenge. It was a much harder challenge. This is too easy for me. It's a re-end the Conjure with A2 with accuracy. Yeah, I guess. So, it's alright, Green Virus. I don't know if I may have missed your question. If I confuse her next person, should I fuse her? I mean, if you want to burn the champions, Green, I would. It's up to you, right? You make the decision. The other thing you got to keep in mind is you have a 1 in 6 chance of pulling this champion if you summon a mythical from a primal shard. I'm not saying you can get primal shards. I'm just putting the context of, to get a Tatsu is much harder to summon than to get a Mikage, purely on the credit of how many champions are in the pool. You take the context away of how easy it is to get the shards. I'm just simply talking about the champions in the pool. So if you get mythical, it's a 1 in 6 chance. If you get Tatsu, it's like a 1 in 200. Right? It's a lot harder to get. So you could end up burning your Tatsu and Kira to basically get Mikage anyway, which you might be fine with. It all depends on what you see as valuable in your account. You might look at these things and go, do you know what? I'm never going to use a Weregrunt. Lockwine is okay, never going to use it. I don't care about these epics, and I don't care about these legendaries, but I want the Mikage. Go for it. She could have been far worse, right? She is like all the other mythical champions. She has some sort of niche role that makes her really strong, but she's not so crazy that you're going to go, I must get this champion tomorrow. Why would you want a Tatsu, though? Tatsu does do things that are a little bit unique, right? You do have this kind of self-cleanse into a steal, into a nuke, into a decreased resistance. You can get a lot of turn meter back from this. She's immune to sleep. She gets more accuracy, crit damage. She does have unique features, and I always like to keep champions who are unique, because you never know when decreased resistance with sleep is going to be an incredibly valuable thing, right? You just never know. So, you know, if they had put someone like Gamaran, for example, I actually thought they were going to do Gamaran. I would be like, burn him. The dude is just not that good, right? Just get rid of him. Because, okay, yeah, he does something unique, but it's such a difficult thing to enable that you're never going to do it. Me and YST were like, they're going to do Genzin. And if they would have done Genzin, I'd be like, you never burn the Genzin for it, because Genzin's got a really good niche spot as being one of the best finite hard champions. So, I don't know. We'll see. I suppose one way of looking at it is a free way of getting a... Essentially, we've got 3 fusions if you really think about it, because you can get one of these legendaries if you prefer them, and then the mythical. I mean, we haven't really talked about Kira the Watcher, just because I think Kira the Watcher is a very good protector, but you just don't need it by the time you get it. That would be an absolute god tier clan boss champion, right? But by the time you get it, it was like, yeah, you're not going to. So, anyway, so today's stream, we're going to be testing out, now that it's fully booked. Look at these. Getting in their cadavers one last time. Don't have to endure this anymore. Look at this. He's done it this morning. 8 billion. The last time I ever have to witness this nonsense. Take a moment. Let's have an obituary. Let's have an obituary. Dear fellow, we are gathered here today to witness the end of the greatest atrocity ever to happen to Raid Shadow Legends. The worst feature ever introduced to Teleria. The horrific nature of this thing. It was never an enjoyment to watch it happen. We're not sorry it's gone. You know, the wake afterwards is actually more like a rave, I'll be honest. We're going to have a rave. We're going to go basically dance on the corpse of the cadaver clash. It is the last time one has to witness this thing. Amen. It's beautiful. We were like, shall we like tank this one? Because, and now I've looked at it, I'm like, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to say this right now in my clan cluster. I'm going to be like, we are tanking. I'm not competing with that. It's awful. So we'll have to see what's next. But what we are here today to do is to look at team number 3. I've been working on this concept for a while. And it is this team here that we're going to try. Now, Razelvarg has to come out because Razelvarg was too ambitious. This last spot is flexible. Speaking of fire, so what you probably find, Green Virus, is they are using reflex gear, and they're probably getting lucky with reflex. Reflex is a big power pick, so got to say, Rings of Power is so very bad. Don't get me started on Rings of Power. Do not get me started on Rings of Power. that atrocity of... I don't even want to call it Tolkien. It's just it's distasteful. It burns me. The best thing about the Rings of Power is it looked good. It's about the only good thing about it. Nothing the opposite. Oh, really? I don't know. It must be doing something. My team, it was all about the reflex. If you got double reflex, it was great. But without reflex, it's hard. So, yeah, we're not talking about Rings of Power. It'll give me a headache. So this team, I did test it before we booked Islin last week. And it did really well, except for the fact we had a bad rotation and Shamael died. So this last spot here is kind of flexible at the moment. I tried Michinaki last week. Because what I was finding with Uko is he couldn't heal, right? The only healing really apart from Islin's passive is Leech. So I need to basically commit to damage. All of the champions we use in this team has to deal damage or have War Master. And because Mighty Uko is built in a team, or built in a way that is designed for Arena, he didn't have War Master, so he couldn't heal. So we had to take him out. So the last spot is kind of flexible, basically. Michinaki did really well, but Michinaki meant that if anything went wrong, we don't have a reviver, right? Duchess is locked in. So put aside everyone's like, before anyone starts saying you could try this, you could try that. There are locked champions, right? So for example, this is locked. So Duchess, Krisk, Val, Whisper, these are all locked out. We don't use these because they're locked in a different team. Nekmothar, Morley, Mithrala, these are all locked for this second team. So outside of those champions, we can look at different options. But those champions are locked. Now, to some respects, I would like some form of increased attack because I don't have it right now. But there's actually not that many AoE increased attacks. One champion that does come to mind, which we recently just got, which could be quite interesting. I don't know why we're calling the foghorn there. One champion, and it's our favorite IT manager, Colin. Right? Colin could be an interesting shout here. Let me tell you why. We get an increased attack plus turn meter. We get some continuous heals. So it helps mitigate some of the healing issues when I need to do damage. We get a backup decrease attack. We could use Colin. We say Colin. This is Hellhades' fault. He calls him Colin. So every time I see him now, he's called Colin. No, well, what I found, Nexard, because it's my hard team, I just kill things too quickly. I don't need it because Tumacia is going to place HP burn through Poison Cloud. So in reality, I don't need it. We could do a Isala. You're right. We could. But again, Isala's going to have a similar problem where she's not got War Master. She's going to struggle with healing. It would give us decreased attack because obviously we don't really have decreased attack beyond... I don't know, actually, do we even have a decreased attack in the team? Let's have a look. Yeah, so we don't really have decreased attack either. So, you know, maybe Asala's good as a backup reviver. We could use Asala the Mourner. Who is Colin? Colin is Aelfrig. This is Colin. Say hello to Colin. Hellhades calls him the IT manager because he looks so basic for raid. So he's called him Colin. So that's all I can ever see. So, no, I dropped Uko because he's not built for healing. He's built an arena. He doesn't have War Master. So what I was finding was I couldn't actually keep Uko alive. If he took a big hit, I just couldn't keep him alive. So that's why I dropped Uko, because I didn't really need the block buffs. Change his name to Colin. Don't. Seriously. I wish so badly the faction index had a filter for champion. I didn't even mean by that. Oh, you mean search? Well, there's not that many of them, though. You can find it pretty quickly. The factions are quite... I mean, okay, some of them have got a lot, but it's easy to find a champion out of like 40 to 50. Yeah, some people said he looks like me a little bit. Colin has more hair, though, right? Like, I'll be honest. His picture makes him look like he's some sort of like Joan of Arc meets boy band. His portrait. And then when you look at him, he's like, I don't know. He's just the IT manager from down the road wearing his you know, wearing his uniform that he plays when he goes out and play. What is that thing when you go out and actually like role play in real life, right? Role playing as a knight. But the IT manager, he just looks like an IT manager because his face is so basic. LARPing, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, he looks like he's in his monthly LARPing outfit, but it's basically Colin from the IT suite. You know? What about Vrask? I don't really need healing, Ross. I just need all of my champions to be able to do damage so that they can heal. And that's the problem with Uko, is he doesn't really do any damage, so he can't generate any healing from Leech. And as I said, I would like some increased attack. Like someone like Lady Quillen could be interesting because we get a lot of buff, but she needs to kill people, and that's kind of a bit of a downside. I mean, let's just basically have a little look-see to see who does AoE. I mean, Isala, I think, is maybe the best shout right now, right? Because we replaced the decreased attack with an increased attack as well, and we have a backup revive. So it could well be that we just use Isala in that slot in case something does go wrong, then we can recover. Because really, I was running high damage until I lost... Basically, until I lost... who is it? Shamael. He got one shot just with a bad rotation. Up until that point, we were looking really good. So there's currently 48 increased attack champions in the game. That is AoE. 48. What do we got then? So we've got Grinner, Shadowbones, Intercessor, Spirit Walker, Arbiter, Battle Sage, Doom Priest, Drokul, Gizcard. Gizcard is... God, there's so many in this faction. He's the increased attack and increased defense, right? Backup Provoke. It's an option. Oh, if I had Raka. Oh, we could look at the Dazdirk. I can't see chat at the moment, so I'm just going to go through this list first. He would basically give us a heal, a cleanse. Not that cleanse matters. Increased attack, increased fill, another backup leech. I don't really want a backup leech. He could work. Why is this all creepy? Oh, we could go Sachi. Sachi's really good damage. Not that we get the backup provide. Will we get Phil? Leech. It's an AoE. Scott Horses. Could work. The only thing that Isala doesn't bring is actually damage, which I would quite like to have. If I'm being honest, I would like damage. Let's just filter out the multipliers for weak here. So it's 33 in total in the game. Mordecai, Leberga. I wish I had Brackus. Brackus would be so good. Brackus is like that one champion that keeps popping up that I wish I had that I have no use for. Honestly, I think it's tied between... Like, Isala would give me the Reviver. Isala's a bit of a safer option. Sachi's more of an aggressive option. We could go Ghost Spawn. I feel like Isala's the way to go, right? Yeah, I do have Scar Torsus, but he's not built. It's an undead, isn't it? Is he Demon Spawn? I always mix up which faction undead. I think it's undead. It's a 3-turn increase attack. Stealing buffs. I don't really need half of this stuff, see? Mithrala's locked into another team. I have plenty of decreased speed, but what I did realize was you do need multiple forms of decreased speed because I can't really use Islin's A2 all the time. We're going for food. Can Bistolphus hit hard since he's buffed? Not really. His multipliers are too low. You use Bistolphus for his abilities to debuff rather than being a primary DPS. He's a bit like Vlad in that sense. He hits decently, but nothing crazy. Don't you have double decrease speed? Done that. Show us my roster. Creeler's an option, but no, I want Suzerain. Suzerain is so good. Suzerain is in there for a very good reason, and you'll see why. Honestly, I think it's tied between Asala the Mourner. Like, Asala's going to be a safer option. But it's more safe than I probably want to go. Sachi, unfortunately, can't revive because she has to kill someone. We could just go Brogni, but I'll be honest, Brogni's not that much damage either. Hotatsu. Nah, Hotatsu's not what we want. I really hate this situation where like it messes up the sorting. I forgot in-game filters exist now. I always forget. Where's increased attack there? Why can't I pick target? Oh, I actually can't. I actually can't do it based on AoE. That's good to know. It's pretty safe. The only time it failed was when I had a really nasty setup where it was like it was a full cleanse into an increased attack head of wrath, and that one-shot me. That was the only bad thing. I should as well do this. So we do have a 3-star Asala that can be coming in here. We do have a Creeler. Elva would obviously give us more healing, but not so much more damage. We don't really need the increased speed. Hey, Seth, was there a link to the champion on the website from the Optim? Did it just move? It probably just moved. Oh, no. It's probably because we updated the stats and stuff in the... let me just check. I think it's probably because of that. Let me just double check that basically the tier list at the moment needs to be revamped, the way that it speaks to the website, because obviously we've updated the website champion guides. It could be that's the case. I'm just going to double check now. Yeah, it's temporary. It should be back hopefully tomorrow. I just need to basically update the endpoints that we use to speak to, we connect the integrations, so that they can speak with each other. So it should hopefully be back tomorrow. If I get my head around it. Yeah, it's not that I think Brogni's bad. It's just I think I've got better options to do more damage. Right, that's what I'm saying. Can you give us a peek at your Val? Yes. We will look at that in a second. If Chromax was AoE, it'd be so good, right? Tycho? If Chromax was AoE, that's what he lacks. He's too single target. That's Chromax's problem. No, Gnishak's problem is he overbuffs. He over debuffs. I don't want to over debuff. The choice is basically between Asala the Mourner, Dazdirk, I mean, I did use Michinaki before and it was a lot of damage. The only thing is, I mean, it's a 3-turn cooldown. It's not bad. Let's try Asala the Mourner, shall we? Let's pull her out of the vault. Let's try Asala the Mourner. She's kind of built for nothing. I don't use her anywhere at the moment, so we might as well try her. She's built for arena, but let's just put her into this build here. Let's see how well she can perform. We need this. I want to go for extension as much as I can. So we'll just do that. Into that, into that, into that, into that. Oh, wait, I don't have enough scrolls, apparently. Okay, well, that's what we would do. We'll do that to get a little bit more healing, and then Laura Steel, I guess. What do we have in terms of blessings in this team already? So the plan is to take Rabbit out and bring in a Salamona. So we've got Cruelty, Brimstone, Phantom Touch. I don't really think there's much blessings that are going to help me here. I mean, we could double stack Cruelty, I guess. Aura's not going to help us here. Crushing Rend wouldn't help us. I guess we just go Cruelty, right? And double stack Cruelty. Yeah, there's a Hex set. It's on Suzerain. Just double stack it. Give her more attack. Right, let me just get the optimizer up. I'm going to do a quick optimization. Need to just run the installer. Nah, she won't be squishing this team. Oops. Let's start with the amulet. She's wearing all my good resistance gear in this faction. Ooh, that's good. And then we want rings. What do we got here? That's not bad. Why aren't I using Michinaki? And just try. I'm experimenting. We might run it with Michinaki. I haven't figured out the right team. I used to run Michinaki in a specific team, and then I kind of swapped it out. So... And then he's been kind of forever in this limbo state. I mean, you know, I kind of want speed here, though. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's just do a quick optimization, damage mode on A2, configure, boom, boom. Battle. $250. 275 salts. Nothing. 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 Boom, boom, boom. Why does this sound like a Christmas song? It's not. No, Michinaki's in Relentless. Michinaki's at 252, 407 accuracy, and he's in Relentless. We might end up using him. I just want to see what the impact of having an increased attack is when I've got, like, 3 heavy hitters. Is it better to run Michinaki to force DPS and nuke to the others, or is it better to just index more into the others and bring someone with a little bit more stability? That's what I'm thinking. I did try Razelvarg, but that was just, like, way too much. I know Razelvarg's really good, so I want to try him, but, it was a bit, yeah. That one was a little bit too exotic. Okay, fitting room. That one. Try on. And then we need... Try on. This song is just too much like Christmas, and that's way too early right now. We need deflection sets. This beautiful piece of shield. Lovely. And then we need shield. Shield. Where's shield? Yep. That's good. Oh, I must sell. Apparently I have no space. That's bad. We don't need that. Nope. I don't need that. Nope. I haven't processed the Hydra stuff this week. There we go. Why is this not like max speed? What am I missing out on? Something not glyphed? Throw a little bit of speed on here. That's glyphed. It's glyphed, glyphed, glyphed. Oh, we're in Hydra as well, aren't we? Yeah, of course. Oh, the glyphs are rolling high today. Oops. Full nuke Islin and Suzerain. Nobody would ever do this. I don't really know why I'm doing it. For the sake of it. Oh, wow. The glyphs are really rolling well today. The hell is all this? What about Archmage Helmet? I don't really feel like Archmage would give me any value in Hydra because I already have increased speed. I'm not going to re-index everyone out of increase, like, a damage or anything like that, out of increased crit rate, so it's kind of like I'd basically be bringing Helmet for not a lot of... I don't really feel like he adds a lot of value in the team. Might as well see if we can ascend this. What do we get? HP. All right. What do we got? Hydra. 4.7k attack, 254 speed, 102%, 225, 293 accuracy is a little bit low, but it's fine for what I need. Mastery's done, skill's done. Let's give it a go. So, let me give you a rundown of the team, okay? Hey, look, every little bit counts. Let me give you a rundown of the team and what the logic is, right? So, obviously, we start with Torment. So, Shamael into Mashaled. Mashaled's going to get boosted every time there's a fear. We're boosting the Mashaled up, right? That's the concept here. That Shamael is boosting that. Now, the way that these guys are built, we have got Shamael here. He's built in full damage, lethal, cruel. There is room for growth in the sense that I haven't found an attack there. That's really bad. That could be better. That's not great. These are not great. Not great. that could be boosted, right? And also we could get better rings. There's room for growth here. He's currently at 6.7k attack, like 200 speed, 266% crit damage, and we got a bit of ignore defense in there. Straight up damage dealing with the ability for counterattacks, right? His job is put the leech up and then just counterattack. And the Inquisitor Shamael build we have here is a slow Guardian. Probably needs to be rebuilt to be even tankier, to be honest. I've probably stripped things out. Let's have a look, see if I can make this a little bit better. He's very HP heavy. Let's see if we can... Like, we don't need that. Let's see if we can get him a little bit tankier. Look, that's... It's already better, right, than that. Just give him a bit of a... Well, that can be worse. Ideally, we want him in Blood Shield. Right, we want him in Blood Shield. So I'm just tanking him up a little bit because he's a little bit squishy right now. Like that could be just straight up improved. Right, we want resistance, defense percentage. Right, resistance, defense percentage, and HP percentage ideally is what we would like. Like something like this. It's really good. Just check there's not a better one. I feel like that's just a little bit better. Attack's not best. Throw resistance on it. Just because he was at 2,000 defense, and his job in this build is to be the mischief tank and to just absorb some damage. Right, that's what his job is here. Like, there could be found for a better one in... Like, we can't get defense percentage here, but we can get, like, resistance HP. Can we just, like, find a better option? I don't want to lose too much more resistance if I can help it. Which is what we're losing here, right? So... And obviously that's crazy good for this. It's like, here, can we find one that's got all three in Guardian? So we lose 11%, but we gain a lot more defensive stats, so... can afford to lose a little bit over here because I can find the resistance elsewhere. Here, for example, we got this as like a HP percentage with attack. Well, ideally, I want HP percentage with defense in Guardian, right? So I could take this, maybe. I'd actually lose some stuff there, so it's not ideal. So maybe we just... So my HP percentage chests without resistance are really poor, so that's what we'd be looking for to improve there. You know, HP with speed is okay. I don't really need speed, though. Like, we don't really need any speed whatsoever. But we do need resistance, right? So, I mean, he's not got any resistance down here. Something like this would be good. We lose 16 speed, we lose a bit of accuracy. We don't have much of that, but we get 31 resistance. And obviously we'd need to upgrade it, but... But I think it's better now. We've basically taken him up 600 defense, so it should be a lot tankier than he was before. Masteries could be improved on, but he's got enough that he needs for tankiness. I could take him down to Giant Slayer if I wanted to. So that's those two jobs there, right? So he's the main mischief tank and healer, and then we're going to have Martial Ed built here, okay? Then what we're doing is we're bringing Suzerain Katonn. You might be wondering, why have you got Suzerain Katonn? Because this dude is triple AoE, which, as I said in one of our Hydra streams before, hey Elixium, we are looking at a new hard team that I've been building, working on. We've got it all booked, so this is the first time we can actually test it. Well, What about Creeler, Witch Elm, or Brachus? I would definitely use Brachus over Asala of the Morning if I had Brachus, but I don't have Brachus. I probably wouldn't do it over a Creeler, though, because Creeler, I think, is a little bit more limited. But Suzerain Katonn, right? Every team must have a Hex champion now. Hex must be in every Hydra team you do. It's so good for this encounter. So that either needs to be in the form of a champion, like Akimtum, Mithrala, Ruel, Michinaki, right? Someone who can bring Hex, or someone who can wear the Cursed set. And what Suzerain Katonn is very good at is applying Hex, because every single one of his abilities is AoE. So you're always applying a chance on every single target to get your Cursed set activating. He's also an A1 decreased speed on a, what is that, 55% with Sniper. If you get the Sniper Mastery, 55% on the A1, which is really good. He's also a decreased defense and weaken, although the decreased defense is not 100%, it's close, right? It's what, 75%, 85%? I can't do math this time of night. It's at 30 plus 4, 75%, right? Or is it 85%? I don't know. With Sniper, it goes up to like 80%, I think. So it's a very good chance. But again, you're AoE attacking. It's a 4-turn cooldown, which is not ideal. But because you're on a lower difficulty, you can supplement that 4-turn cooldown because you can go faster, right? It's probably not gonna do as good if you go up to like Nightmare, where the bosses is a lot faster. But on these lower speeds, 4 turns is okay. I don't really use this ability because I don't want heal reduction, but you could use this if you want. This is the bigger damaging ability. But because he's decreased speed, decreased defense, weaken, I was able to drop Sisia in favor of my next champion, which is Tumacia. Now, Tumacia has a single target decreased defense, so if for whatever reason Suzerain doesn't apply it, I have a backup option here. And what's special about Tumacia is she is one of 2, maybe 3, I think there may be a new one, 2 or 3 champions that can place HP burn whilst a poison cloud is out, which removes the need for block buffs, because we're not going to have any buffs being spread because we're blocking it. We're killing heads quite quickly, so there's really not an opportunity for them to sustain or keep things like reflect, counterattack, or any of those natures. We're not too worried about the Wrath because it's a lower difficulty, so we can just kill it quicker. But you get this HP burnout all the time, and it means that you get an absolute cannon on the A3. You will see how hard this hits. It is big because of the way that it scales. So she can then replace Sisia, who can't do that, because we've got Suzerain Katonn essentially applying the decreased defense and weaken, which was what Sisia was doing. So we've got 3 forms of really high good damage consistency, right? We've got Hex plus his damage. We've got Martial Ed's damage. We've got Tumacia's damage. And then we've got a tank version. And then these 2 options here. The 5th option we've talked about in terms of Asala was like, I don't really want Uko anymore. I need like a decreased attack. If I can get an increased attack as well, it's much more flexible. It could be a Michinaki. I did try Razelvarg. That was too like glass cannon, but you could do it. And then we've got Strategos Islin. He is the provoker here. Now he is booked finally. Last time when I booked him, he was provoking pretty well, but not good enough. He's 100% decreased speed on a 3-turn cooldown. We get some ally protection. So if for whatever reason we get a bad run and they cleanse everything, they whack us with a big damage, I have the ability to place this ability and just protect the team. And this is a very good heal now. It's not bad. It heals pretty good. So in those situations where I need to get set up again, he can cover that. I've also built in with some damage. He actually cannot die. That's how crazy this is. He cannot die because of the way that his passive interacts, right? You'll see what will happen when he takes damage. He never dies. It's impossible for him to take damage in this team. So let's just finish off this then. The builds we've got for Suzerain Katonn. My cursed gear is not as good right now. I'm still working on farming Ice Golem. I need more cursed gear. But Suzerain Katonn here is... Where is he? I'll see him in a second. He's a 1-star there. We got him in Cruelty. Standard masteries for War Master. We're going to get a lot of War Master proxies attacking AoE all the time. He is at a built-in fast 241. Let's put him in Hydra. 5.3k attack, 165% crit damage, 247 speed, 284 accuracy. He's got low crit damage because I have to go crit rate gloves because the gear is just not as good, right? The gear is just not as good. He's wearing some decent gear, but it's just not the best gear that I've got because we're still trying to get some decent gear in here, okay? In terms of Tumacia, she's here somewhere. we've put her in Brimstone because Turmacia is the single target champion, right? Brimstone, single target, much better. You want Brimstone on a single target champion so that you can make sure you put it on a head that's about to use an active ability. You'll get far more damage out of Brimstone if you can focus it onto targets than if you just put it on an AoE, right? You'll probably double your damage. So I've got it on the single target champion here. She is built, again, Giant Slayer. There is a question I could go Helm Smasher, but I don't really think it's needed. And we've got her in some pretty stonky gear here. This is really good. 6.6k attack on a 1.4k base is pretty high without any blessings or empowerments. That's really high. Like, that's as high as I could probably get it without any bonuses on top at this speed at the moment. 243% crit damage, and she needs accuracy here. And she is built in here. You could probably put her in Savage Cruel, but because I've got decreased defense and I'm destroying defense, you don't really need the ignore defense. It doesn't really add much value here. And then finally, we are looking at the Strategos Islin. This dude does not die. I can tell you right now, this dude will never die. He is in so many artifact sets, I can't even keep count. We've actually used, for the first time, an artifact set that's an accessory. We're getting closer. I mean, we could even use this if we wanted to, right? We could put him in another protection set. It would give him more HP. Like, this is probably... If this rolls better, it's probably more favorable. Like, we would lose 400 defense because it's a HP ring into defense, but we would gain 15% HP, so that would give us 6,000 health if we wanted to. But actually, losing defense here is bad, because remember with Islin, he works in intervals of 500, so you want to make sure you're hitting 500 breakpoint. So, for example, if you notice, he's at 5.9. Really, I should try and find 5 defense, because 5 defense is 1% more healing. It's a big difference. So we have him in this protection accessory here just because I had it. And then he's just in some pretty good gear. This all needs to be awakened. It would add a lot more. The attack's not so much, but, you know, these are really good. This is a crazy piece, really. That would be good. So really what we want to try and find here is 5 defense. I need, like... Is there something we can push that's got more defense? Oh, look, that's got more defense. No, we can't even find 5 defense here. I guess we're going to go for this. Can we get a 5%? Oh, God. Oh, well, we'll blow a 5-star glyph. There you go. Oh, of course it maxes out. There we go. So he's now at 6k defense. Intervals of 500. 267 speed. He's not 100% provoke. We want him to go fast. He is built for damage as well, because he will... You know, if he gets attacked a lot, he'll put out damage. But... What I have found is he's the opposite of Suzerain Katonn. Suzerain Katonn will get worse as you go up. This dude is going to go much stronger as you go up, okay? Because the more the enemies live, the more they attack him, which means the more that he's going to counterattack, which means the more damage he can deal. You'll see we kill things very quickly. So that's the team. Let's give it a go, right? It's only hard, so it's not like crazy, crazy difficult. This team just needs to hit, like, above 100 million, ideally. Because we're using it for Clash, right? We're in a new era of post-Cadaver Clash, so... We kind of like to start off here with, can we get a Provoke? The Infinity is not great, but we get a Provoke straight away. It's a great start. Get this out. This is a new Affinity, so... Gotta be... not Affinity, new Rotation. So we got to be mindful of that, so... Gonna knock this out. There we go. Look at that. Decreased defense weaken on everyone. Really nice. That's protected. Get the burns out. And now we start ramping. Let's go. The only downside with increased attack in this team is because Mashaled basically always takes... Oh, we didn't get a provoke there. We'll have another attempt though. Because Mashaled always takes an extra turn and he's getting boosted, he really doesn't retain increased attack. Right, the increased attack in this team is for everyone else. Because you can see he's already lost that. He's pretty much already lost it, you know? Now, the other downside is... Let's just kill this. 448,000. There we go, provoke. Now, the other downside with this is what you'll find is I've not been able to use Strategos Islin's A2 yet. And that is a problem, and why I actually have 3 forms of decreased speed. Because I do. I've got the A1 from Suzerain Katonn, which isn't 100%. I've got the A2 from Tumacia, but it's conditional. The A2 basically requires the enemy to be above... weak hit. The A2 requires him to be above 75%, so it's not going to apply it unless that happens. We didn't get decreased defense. We haven't got good uptime on this head yet. It's fine. Get decreased defense and weaken. Nice. Out on everyone. Do we get provoke? Yes. So, you know, for people who said Strategos Islin can't do the provoke job, he's done everything perfectly so far. Yeah, I do have Yoshi. Let's get the burns out. Oh. Well, good thing we got a revive. I wasn't paying attention to the the reflect. Now we can actually apply decreased speed. It's a bit of a waste, to be honest. Bring her back alive. One should have paid attention to the reflect there. That was a bit stupid. Decreased speeds, attacks, hex. So, in terms of his damage... 450k? It's not bad, is it? Oh, yes. Now, this isn't great, actually. So, this is... The way that this works is it does damage, and then for every HP burn that's out on the target, it does 40% more. So we can't actually do this here right now because there's no burns out. But let me just show you how much this is going to scale, right? So this is without any burns. On a target with decreased defense and weaken, increase attack. 700,000 damage, right? Watch how much this scales when we actually get another run at this. We can just put protection up. Your salad is in cursed. I used to have him in cursed. I wanted Suzerain in so that I could put him in more damage, and I wanted him to be a bigger damage dealer. So we could probably just go smack. I don't know. Put decreased defense out there. So we're back on the provoking duty. Okay, double weak hit. Kind of awkward. But you'll notice, by the way, just watch his HP on the left. Just take that away. He never takes damage. Like, ever. To the extent that even last week when I was testing this, he was the only one left, and he never took that. Oh my god, I lost Disarm the Mourner. Okay, so we're going to have to restart this. Wrath is the nasty one here. And this is why I'm maybe thinking I need to swap out Isala, because we just had a bad run there. Maybe I just need to make her a lot more tankier so she can't get one shot there. Don't know how she got one shot, to be honest. So this really is an affinity issue as well, in the sense that Islin is weak affinity. She's not great. For this rotation, weak affinity is bad. But there's several rotations where he's strong affinity and good affinity. I built a DPS, yeah. I probably built a 2-glass cannon. I just want to try it, right? So he's provoking at a very good rate. Except for the one time that I needed him to provoke and he didn't. It's always the case, right? I think with this type of composition, whenever there is a Wrath Head out, you almost like focus fire. You turn all of your attention to killing the Wrath Head as quickly as you possibly can. Because the moment that thing is... nice. Killed out. Chooses A2 for the first time. Get decreased speed out. We can actually test this fully now, by the way. I can kind of demonstrate the full nuke capability of this A3. Might as well do that. Okay, so remember the last time this hit was about 700,000? We've now got 3 instances of 40%. So it's 40, 80, so it should be 120. Increase attack, 1.2 million damage. And it's still not at maximum damage. It's still not there yet. There's more to come still. But the good thing is, you can see there, we had like 3 turns on Islin on this head, right? So there's a pretty good chance that we're going to get it a lot of the times. Get the burns out now. Decrease defense, weaken. Okay. Decrease speed. Let's watch this damage. How much does 1A3 do here? 1A1 do from Martial Head, right? We've got 3 dead heads. Pretty much all of them apart from the one on the left has decreased defense. We're at 10.7 million. How much does this do? 12.8. That 1A1 did 2 million damage here. How nuts is that? You know, A1 here, 500,000. This is very much a kill or be killed type of team. And as I said, now we've got the Wrath Head, right? So the Wrath Head here is a risk. We need to deal with the Wrath Head almost like straight away. Might as well get that up. We can do one more cannon. 500k that time. No decreased defense over there. This provoke is a bit annoying. Because it's going to ramp up. That's the only downside with Shamael here. If he gets provoked, we're just basically giving him, you know, free boost. But we can do this and take away the increased attack. He's still doing his thing over there. So I can normally in this situation, you would do A2 straight away, right? Because you'd be like, oh, well, he's going to do Poison Cloud. If I don't have the burnout, I can't stop it. But if I do that, I'm going to get Wrath attacked without decreased attack out. I could basically get one shot again, right? So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to A1 because I can. Somehow he still took damage because of the Hex, which is typical. I'm guessing the Hex must have activated it or something. Now I can't do what I wanted to do, but what we can do is we can just do Strengthen and this, right? So there's a good chance we're not going to die here now. Because Strengthen and Increased Defense should stop that. Does this remove all buffs? Will shield, block damage, and unkillable. That's not really what we want. So we're going to hold that for one turn. Annoyingly, we're going to get cleansed here, I think. Probably should have just done burn. We'll find out. Okay, well, we lived. Got the burnout. Oh, why did I do that? I'm an idiot. I should have waited one more turn. Now I'm at risk of dying because I can't do any damage right now. Let's take the reflect away. Now I'm at risk of dying because I made a mistake. Because I should have burnt afterwards, not before. Well, we can protect. See that healing there? It is actually quite impactful. But again, like Islin, if you want a tank, Islin will never die. See how much he's healing? He's replacing the damage he took. Islin will never die if you build him in any form. Right, we can actually do this now. Get decreased attack on this. That helps. I think we're all right now. It's a bit of a rough start. Oh, look at all these poisons. I messed that up. That's me not playing it correctly, right? And what we would probably have to do, honestly, is just rebuild Ursala away from damage so that she just heals from War Master instead and just build her a lot tankier. Because potentially we just like trying to be like hubristic here and just trying to finally get some stuff going here. Right. Technically I should have done decreased speed there because I don't need to provoke for a while. Let's just whack you for some damage because we need to stun you. What's not ideal about this setup as well is we don't actually have any... Oh, that's not got a leech. What am I doing? We don't actually have any... She's too weak. She's too squishy. What's frustrating about this as well is we don't have any... The words fail me. The words are failing me. I don't know what I was trying to say there. How squishy is she actually at the moment? Let's have a look. Oh, she is a little bit glass cannon, to be fair. So all we would do is probably swap this out for a defense amulet. With crit damage instead. Something like that. And swap this out for a defense with defense percentage ring. Just build her back to be a little bit more tankier. Right, that'll give her 2.6k defense. That's a bit better now. This is hard. It's not brutal. She's just taking a... She just needs to have enough time to do damage. That was me misplaying that incredibly hard, though. Right, I was making mistakes across the board. You know, and Wrath is a bit of a problem. Just because I have no block buffs. A lot of the solutions normally done with Wrath, thanks for that, is... normally what you would do with Wrath is you just... Okay, so I'm just... getting 3%ed here, it's fine. What you normally do with Wrath is you block buffs him, and then you put decreased attack, and then he doesn't do any damage. But because we haven't got any block buffs here, this is basically a feast or famine kind of run. We have to kill or be killed. We're kind of in a situation where we can take a lot of heat, but it's fine. This won't be a problem because we'll kill it before he has a chance to spread. There you go. 619,000. We just did 619,000 to a living head. What the hell was that? Get the burns out again. Increase attack. Nice decreased speed. See, we do get a lot of attempts at provoking this build, right? Because we got him at 267 speed. We can go a lot of times, so you can mitigate the lack of 100% and affinity that way. I could have just kept A1 in if I wanted to. I didn't need to because I had it provoked on the first attempt, but I could have done if I wanted to. Let's just get decreased attack out. Get that out. So like now I can go back to trying to provoke. We got it on the second attempt. So for everyone that was kind of like, you know, I think a lot of people were down on Strategos Islin unfairly, I think. Because I actually think he's a very, very, very good, like probably one of the best Hydra champions they've released in a long time because he's so self-sustaining. He will never die. In fact, I don't even think it's a question of dying. I don't even think he can take damage. Like, I've never seen him below 100% HP. Boof. 1.5 million damage. Oh. 1.5 million damage. So here, for example, Poison Cloud is never a problem. This is why I wanted to drop Sisia for Tumacia, because this is a very powerful A2 that not many champions have, and she brings an absolute, like, monstrous. It's not better than Whisper, because there's conditional setup. Whisper doesn't require that many conditions, and Whisper can keep cycling. She doesn't have the, like, she requires the right setup. It's a bit like Trunda, right? In the sense that Trunda will out damage anyone else, but you have to set it up. And if you can't set it up, it's actually quite hard. I just want to take the reflect away, so in case I forget to use defense. So we're at like 1 million damage per turn at the moment. So I just pulled his final fragments for this CVC. Which champion is that? I find that doing hard hide is more difficult than Nightmare Brawl since your HP nukes are not as effective. Yeah, it's in that like weird position where max HP is not that good, but they hit hard enough that you need something to do with max HP. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Why aren't we getting fears? Well, that's not a bad idea, actually, because I just reset the sleep counter. So we can just revive in a second now. I'm just going to do this, because I want to put heal reduction out so they can't heal. So these continuous heals won't be a problem. This reflect buff, though, is a problem right now. Because of that, he's just spread reflect on everyone. Oh, vey. Right, who can we get rid of reflect buff on? You're probably going to die in a second. You're not, so let's take those away. Stupid reflect buff. Are you pulling for another Ugo tomorrow? No, I've already got 2. I don't need more than that. We'll get rid of that. Gives us a bit of a shield. Some decreased speed. Oh, of course. What else does Strategos Islin do? He reduces buff duration. I always forget that. That's how powerful buff duration can be, by the way. I was in a really difficult spot there, because essentially I'd given him reflect buff to everyone. That A2 is just an absolute lifesaver, because it decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. That's very big. We just gotta wait for another cooldown though now. It's really big. What did I get him with? He's in like random sets. He's got like a little bit of protection, a little bit of righteous, a little bit of everything. But look, even his damage output's pretty good. It's gonna be big damage. One more turn and we can actually revive our Tumacia that we accidentally killed because we were not paying attention. Oh, look at the damage. There we go. Revive. She's back. What are we going to get? Suffering, Mischief. That's fine. Might as well put protection up here. Suffering, Mischief. Provoke. Fine. Can we get a Provoke out? Ah, oh, look at him. He's so good. Here we go. Oh, he's just so good. I'm pretty certain so far He's never been below maximum HP, right? Who do we want to hit? Okay, thanks for redirecting me. Just wasted that ability. Decrease speed out on everyone. I think Islin is worth it. I think Islin is really good. Do you know what we might do after this? Is I might put him in on his own. I might literally just put Islin on his own and see if he can just straight up tank it with no debuffs or buffs. Yeah, we've got Suzerain Katonn in Cursed. Yeah, I mean he's losing maximum HP if you count that as taking damage, right? That's fair. There's that reflect debuff coming out. Just take... Okay, or not. Can we get a provoke? Oh, see, this is where the only downside is. If you do get unlucky and you don't get the provokes out, then, you know, the transitions can be a bit rough. Especially when you redirect to the reflect target. Which is not ideal. Can we just get a curse? Like, Suzerain, do your job. There we go. And like... Provoke? Nope. We had 1 week hit there. Can we take away this? Yeah, thank you. Hit that. You could run him and provoke. I was tempted by that. Let's heal up. 3rd attempt. Come on. Double weak hit. Oh. It pains me. Fortunately, we can support that, though. It's a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. If he's going to do it, this head configuration is the nicest head setup to do it in. Can we get a provoke? There we go. We're back on tap. There we go. There we go. You just go hit that for a little bit of damage. Not the best setup. No decreased defense. Not enough HP burns out. That's kind of like what I was saying there, right? We did a 1.6, 1.5 million hit. And then the next time we did the hit, we did 400,000 because we didn't have HP burns. We didn't have the setup. Whereas Whisper, as long as there's weaken out, we'll just do 1.1 million damage every single time. It's a far less complicated setup to do. So there is like, there's pros and cons to them. Just get a provoke. There we go. Like, I've not really struggled. There's been like 1 or 2 incidents where I'm like, oh, that provoke didn't land. Predominantly, when I need a provoke, the provoke is available to me. You know, as it's pretty much available all the time, which is what you want. I'm going to kill this Torment Head in a minute, I think. Now we can do that. Drop decrease speed. More decrease speed. Can we get hexes out on everyone? You know, it's just... And then we can start, like, ramping the damage up again. Get the burns out on everyone. Increase attack. Poison Cloud doesn't matter in this team. So good. Put that up for some protection. Let's just smack this. We need a Suzerain Katonn A2 in a minute, really. Oops, I didn't want to attack that, but never mind. So we're actually going to hold it 1 turn here because I actually want to try and get a good decreased defense. Well, I shouldn't be attacking him. I should be attacking a dead head. Now, the Wrath Head is a problem, so that's priority kill in a minute. Got a Hex that straight away. Is that a counterattack? I honestly don't think I've ever seen him below 100% HP. We might need the revive if Suzerain Katonn takes a big hit. Get decreased speed out straight away. Right, big cannon time. How much can we do this time? 1.3 million damage. Whew. And then we get to watch. I thought they were increasing his animation speed. He doesn't feel like he's much faster, does he? Has anyone else been watching this feeling like Shamael's much quicker? Any reason why you're not using Shamael's A2? He's not built for damage. I should just throw it in anyway. I'm just probably not paying attention because he's just not built for damage. Like 200k damage there, not bad. Like this, like you'll see what I mean. It's okay. It's like 30,000. Get the burns out. Heals. Look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, first consumption is our Strategos Islin. Let's get him out. Boom. Let's hit you. What you always want to make sure you do is, if you're using two Messiah in your team, the A1 is configured around HP burn. If the HP burn is out, then the A1 does a lot more damage. Sorry, let me rephrase myself. My brain is just rot today. If there's a HP burn out, the A1 is 100% chance to do a decreased defense. If there's no HP burnout, then it's a conditional. So whenever you're using her A1, you always want to be mindful of, can I put it on a target that's got HP burn already on it? Because that'll guarantee that it places. Another cannon, how many have we got? We've only got 2 burns out. 930, it's a big hit. It's really, really powerful. So we're trending at like, you know, over 1 million damage per turn, which is really good. We can basically do that because we... And this is kind of like what I was saying about block buffs a little bit. The heads are dying too quickly for debuffs to really matter in this team. Except for we want the priority debuffs to be available when they're dead. We're just killing them so quickly, we don't actually need to worry about trying to like sustain them. Which is why I indexed a lot more into decreased speed. Because what I was finding when I ran my old team, there wasn't enough uptime when the heads were down. We couldn't actually keep the heads dead long enough to actually maximize the damage output. With decreased speed now, we have a little bit more time to do it, which helps. 100% there. We've set up the next cannon. Throw this out for some damage. Oh yeah, his A2 is a bit faster. His A1 is the problem, though. We don't care about the A2. The A2 is always fast. Do a cannon nuke. 1.2 million that time. It's always fun seeing the variations. I don't think we've actually had a scenario yet where all 4 burns have been up. That's the scenario we need to see, the maximum damage. Is when there's all 4 burns up. And, well, an Islin gets to provoke out straight away. I think that's the scenario we want to see with Tumacia. So, yeah. So this is A2. Building a second Whisper, nice. I run Marshall with trying to, yeah. I mean, it's all about how long you can get the decapitation bonuses, right? Because the thing is, the way that the Cadaver team really had lots of value was the reality of the heads were always dying. So it meant that you actually weren't getting much consumption counter either. Because the heads were always dead, you never had to deal with like consumption or anything like that. I need to get provokes. Double weak hit, not great. This heal reduction is not great either, actually. That could be a problem. Let me just whack this for some... Can we get a provoke? Well done, Islin. Done a job for me. The one I'm looking at right now is Isala the Mourner. She's got heal reduction. She needs to get rid of that heal reduction, and I need to keep her alive for 2 attacks. Whilst the repeating crossbows are happening. Can I keep her alive 1 more turn? Oh, he's put heal reduction back on. So annoying. So damn annoying. I have to protect her, I think. There's a good chance I'll end up killing the head of Mischief to reset it. So... oh, she died. Oh well. I'm not certain that Isala the Mourner is the solution here, maybe. You know, maybe it's just better to bring Brogni so we can just stop taking debuffs. I just can't find the right champion to fill the missing spot. I feel like 5 of them are solid. I feel like five champions here are solid. It's just that 6th spot. I can't quite find the right balance. So now we haven't got our increased attack. I'll run this one through, though. Why is Brackus good here? Because he does insane amount of damage. He'll do AoE weaken, and he also does AoE increase attack. And he attacks single target mostly, which means that you get lots of good damage. So you end up in this situation where you... just going to do this. Where's... I'm going to kill that target in a minute. He's just a very good damage source. If he dies, he'll self-revive, which is nice. That nice healing there. See, the Islin passive does do some work. What the hell? The only downside, I think, with Islin's kit is because he's built tanky, invariably, he never really gets targeted by any of the things that you want him to be targeted by, the single target stuff. So you're in this situation where you can never actually get a lot of his passive counterattack tech stuff working. But it's the debuffs that killed me this time. So... it'll probably be the debuffs that kill me, like the lack of being able to control this head. Just take everything away from him there. We got Mischief head out. Okay, it's fine. Might as well whack this thing for a while. It's pretty competent. Like, it doesn't really matter if we lost Isala. You know, I could literally just make Isala completely, like, tank full. We'll see how much damage she's done. Maybe just building her for damage is a bad idea. The only good thing about having her built for damage is she can heal a lot more. She's not just dependent on War Master for healing, which often on a single target basis is not enough. You normally need War Master on multiples. That burn out again. Get protection out. Get this. Give me my mash lead back. Yeah, I think Brogni might be a good idea, you know. Yeah, Wrath is often... Wrath's one of those heads that if you have the right team is totally, like, irrelevant. But if you don't, is, like, the most biggest problem. I do have Yoshi. Yeah, Dominic, I do have Yoshi. Hey, Seth, what do you think of the Mythical Fusion? It's an okay champion. the Mythical Fusion. It's an okay champion. I don't think it's like... I think it's the best ally attacker in the game. But I don't necessarily think that's a major factor, you know? Let's get rid of the Reflect, because that's always a problem. Ugh. Too much damage here. This is where, like, damage is important, right? Now, once I do that... Okay, I got one shot. Alright. That's the first time I've seen him take damage as well. It's always the Wrath Head with this team. It's the Wrath Head that causes problems. Also the Reflect buff. So, it's like the last slot in this team needs to have a solution for the Wrath Head somehow. And that's the one that I'm struggling with at the moment. Look how much he just healed, by the way. Crazy, right? Well, I don't really need Nia because I feel like I've got Nia. This will be a fun test, actually. We're going to be able to test what I was wanting to test before. Yeah, but Uko can't stay alive, Nexard. That's what I was finding with Uko. He just, because he's built for Arena, he doesn't have War Master, he can't stay alive. And I'm not going to rebuild him outside of Arena. Right. This is what I want to test. How long does it take? Like, look at this. Watch this. The only thing that can kill this dude is consumption. He won't stay alive. Next, I tested it. That's what was the problem last week. He can't sustain the healing because he has no damage. And if he has no damage, the team has no healing. His healing is all through leech, so that's why I'm not using him. Just look at this. He physically can't take damage. The only thing that he was dying from was his own damage when he did reflect. It's the only thing that's killing him. It's stupid. Look how strong this is. Ideally, like, a lot more than this. Yeah, so I mean, in reality, Isala the Mourner, do I just build a full tank? And just resist? Because that's the only reason why we died there is because she died. Look at Suzerain Katonn's damage. I know some of it's Hex, but Suzerain Katonn is nothing to be a joke about. Yeah, I'll show the Islin build now. No, the new fusion won't help here because really I need decrease attack, right? The Wrath Head, you need decrease attack. So yeah, I mean, Islin's damage output, 6.3 million. Pretty good considering he's not counterattacking a lot in this rotation. We talked about the Mythical Fusion at the start of the stream. The general sense of it's a good champion, but nothing that I would rush out the door to get. So is this just this last spot here? That's the last spot we're fighting for at the moment is, you know, who can we put there to basically make it work? I mean, we could literally just throw a Brogni in. And Brogni would provide us with more healing, a block debuffs to stop some of the things like the poison spam, the heal reduction. He's not bad damage dealer either if we build him for damage. We would also get a removal of a buff, but what it won't allow us to do is apply that. That would mean we don't have any decreased attack. Right, so if we don't have anything set up, then the team will probably get one shot by the Wrath Head. So this last spot feels like it needs to have decreased attack as well. Sorry for Mr. Answer, but who would you use instead of Tomisia? It's kind of like Sissia could work, but then you'd have to bring a block buffs, right? Tomisia allows you to get away with not having a block buffs. Michinaki's still the best. We could run Michinaki. The only problem is there's no revive backup, so if the worst comes to the worst, then you're in a bit of a problem, you know? What about Ultimate Death Knight? I will never use Ultimate Death Knight in any team in this game. I don't like the champion. I'll never use it. Yeah, I agree. It's a Stefano. I think the fusion's best place is Finite Hard. Vassal of the Seal. We do have it. We can have a look at what Vassal does. I don't use Ultimate Death Knight in general. Saf, what bat CB team would you recommend? Myth Fu is the best and easiest one to use, if not Myth Air. Not Myth Air, Myth Watchers. So, I did run Michinaki last week, before Strategos Islin was built. Let me see if I can find it. I sent my first test. This was before Strategos Islin was built. Where is it? We basically did around about the same number. We did 86 million. Unfortunately, Shamael got one shot. Michinaki did about 20 million damage. So we kind of like shared it. But it was about the same amount of damage here. But it basically the same problem existed. In the sense that we had a bad setup and then we got one shot. Yeah, I think instant battles for clan boss is the one area where I probably didn't. But Ultimate Death Knight I'll still never do because I've pretty much said the champion is terrible, needs to be reworked, and you know. On the HH website, the Panda got a 5-star rating for Iron Twins. Is that just the A1 decreased speed down and the accuracy up? Yeah, exactly, Jan. Decreased speed, accuracy up. And also the ability that he can like eat the decreased defense and decrease attack debuffs, Jan. So generally he's quite a good fit. Hey, is the MXCB team you built still good? Yeah, I use him all the time. It's pretty strong. I probably will rebuild it at some point. Val is locked into another team. Oh, you mean, do you mean Vassal or do you mean Val? We're not going to keep this key because I need to do minimums. YST was playing around with this dude. Val doesn't do decreased attack. I'm almost certain of it. Val doesn't. Val doesn't do decreased. Oh, he does. Oh, I didn't realize that. I mean, I didn't know he did it, but at the same time, Val is in my brutal team, so Val is off the table. I've done Michinaki. Look, let me show you. It's the Michinaki team. So I've tried the Michinaki. It came out about it's basically the same problem in the sense that if I get one shot by something, there's no recovery, and it's kind of the same problem here. Now, the problem, I said, Uko, it's not that Uko is a bad fit for the team. It's the way that I've built Uko. He's built for Arena, and I'm not going to rebuild him. So Uko doesn't have any self-sustain. He has no damage in his build. There's no damage here. There's no crit rate. He has no War Master. So Uko just can't heal. So Uko dies because he can't heal. So he's not a good fit. So it's just kind of like Brogni could fit there, but then we wouldn't have decreased attack. I know that YST was messing around with this dude, but we don't really have any demons spawn in the team, so that's not really going to help. Right, we haven't got any demons spawn in that team. So you're facing Siphi, Rotus, Duchess, and Leo. I shall be using the UDK. I'll beat it without Ultimate Death Knight. How would you build Uko for Hydra? Fast, high accuracy, with War Master. Honestly, if I just put him in War Master, this build would be okay. Not in stun, obviously. Probably provoke. You'd probably use him as a provoker, right? To try and basically get the A1 provoke and the A2 provoke. That's how I would build him. Yeah, we could do Brogni. I mean, it would keep us alive. I don't really see that, Shooter. Only reason why I say that is Islin is giving me a lot of decreased speed. I know I've got it in other places, but it's actually quite valuable. I don't really see what Vargal gives me apart from AoE decreased attack. It's not bad. It's not a bad option, but I like Islin, basically. There's probably a champion that fits absolutely perfectly that I just haven't found yet. You know, that's what it's going to come down to. There'll be probably a champion that I'll find that's just going to be like the perfect fit for that one slot, and it will solve a lot of the problems. I just haven't found it yet. I'm experimenting. But the good thing is the team is really strong, right? The core concept is really strong. We're doing about 1 million damage per turn. So if we can just find a better stability on that last spot just to finish and just to kind of pull it together, it would be lovely. Islin. Where is he? Here. So Islin right now for Hydra is built at 6k defense, 48k HP. He is built for damage a little bit. I put him in 100% crit rate, and then he's got enough resistance actually, so he can be like a tank if I need him to be, you know. The Val build is here. Where is he? He's in Relentless Cruel. Val is built at 229 speed, while Hydra is a bit faster. 235 speed, 5k attack, 253% crit damage with enough accuracy. He's my Whisper setup, right? He's the Whisper setup, right? So he is in this team. This is what Val's job is for, right? This is Val's job. Oh, thank God. We're in a better affinity for Husk. This is what Val's job's for, right? We're going to go and find this dude. And he sets up the Whisper to do that. This rotation is so much better for this team. I can't tell you. I actually need to do that. I should have probably taken out the Mischief, if I'm being honest. Because he's gonna, I think the Mischief Head is gonna go after Whisper. And luckily it was okay. It's fine, we got Provoke here. Stop that. This is the 6-star Whisper, by the way. Holy crap, you won. I said it, you don't need him. Val, by the way, guys, what a champion. If you haven't built your Val yet, he is an absolute, like, huge champion. Truly. Let's just get rid of that fear. Oh, of course. Why is it whenever you deflect, of course it deflects on the champion, on the enemy you don't want it to deflect to, right? Every single time. It's like almost on like record, it'll always go for that Torment Head. Let's extend the Veil. Nice. Smack this around a little bit. So the reason why Val is so good, he's got like a ninja passive essentially, where he will, every time he uses an active ability, he will increase his attack by 10%, up to a maximum of 100%. So what ends up happening is he just scales to such an extreme level that he can just pump out so much damage. It's nuts. It really is. When we can attack him. Oh, it's dead. So now all we need to do is get weaken. No, okay, resisted. We get weaken. No, resisted. Provoke this out. So his job here in a minute, hopefully, is to basically place weaken. He is Whisper's, like, lieutenant, for a better word. Unfortunately, we just can't quite get the weaken out at the moment. Gotta wait one more turn. Should be able to do it here. I just booked Val, and so I'm getting his last. Nice. Extend everything. Is Grandja any good? He's kind of like a great HP burner. The problem is, by the time you get him, do you even need a HP burn champion, right? That's the problem with Grandja. He's a good HP burn champion. It's just you get him so late. So now if we want, we can get an extra turn, but I'm just going to go straight in for the nuke. 1.259 million on Brutal. The 6-star Whisper is alive and well. And this is like Val now. 1 million damage. Hello. Whoop. Yeah, I'll show you the build. We can go for... Let's just take out this head. It can often be a problem. Smack it around a bit. Finish the head off. Oh, here she goes. Got the weaken out ready to go. Well, that's kind of annoying. We haven't actually got decreased defense out right now, so we're going to have to, like, wait a turn. But we can, like, smack it around a little bit. You've eaten all the food, monkey. You're not going to get any more. We need to wait one more turn. The decreased defense. Don't close the door. Cats, honestly. Let's just extend. Honestly, cats. Oh, we need one more turn for decreased defense. It's typical. Well, we can get weaken out. The provoke out there. And then that. This is a much better rotation for this team, by the way. Like last rotation with Ugo being weak hit. It was just nasty. Alright, so we can get this out now. Get Whisper back on the go. So this is a problem. He's got to increase attack to some extent. But it's not a major problem. It's just not a problem I really want to have to deal with, but... so we can take this head out. I really need to run the math back for the now that we've got a 6-star Whisper, I need to do the math on Crushing Rend and Phantom Touch. I'll probably do that tomorrow if I have time. I had to take the day off. I was so worn out after yesterday's work and various different things that I didn't want to be ill going into Las Vegas, so I kind of took today off a little bit. I say a little bit because we had the update, so I had to update all that and all the other stuff, and I didn't actually finish work till about 2. But, okay, that stealing buff is not ideal. Let's just do that. Nice. Okay, so we can go again. 1.1 million on that head. Gotta love it. Hey, Seth, can you show file build? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Talked about that. You're on the waiting list. It was brutal. All I can tell you, Doozer, and you know me, I'm not a big fan of subscribing to the tinfoil hat theories. However, it's shockingly surprising that the moment I took Whisper out of my wish list, she appeared a couple of days later. So I'm not saying that there is a conspiracy, but at the same time, I'm also not saying that there isn't a conspiracy. And that, in fact, that the wish list removes those champions from your, like, ability to get said champion in the market. Just saying. Smack this head a bit. It's going to hurt. There's nothing much I can do about it. I can heal up first so we take as least damage as possible. Alright, he tanked it. It's not too bad. Get a provoke up. Just kind of want to kill this Wrath head as quickly as we can, really. Stop stealing. The only thing with this team is if we get out of sync with the buffs, it can be problematic. Oh, well, he died somehow. And that died. See, because we're out of sync a little bit, we haven't been able to get the block buffs up on the Mischief Head, and now we're just kind of like falling apart purely because of this dude here. Can we just kill this head off? Please. It's always Wrath Heads that I'm having problems with lately. Let me just do that. Protect everyone. Just kill this Wrath Head for me. Oh, come on. Oh, for the love of all that is real. I'm going to lose my mind. Freaking life barrier. Well, we're for sure dead. So we might as well, like, go down with fighting, right? All because of misalignment of sync. Like, I just need to basically get some stability here. Please, let me just get some stability. Okay, get a provoke out. Oh, he resisted. He didn't. Don't you resist. Thank you. Okay, now just need some healing. Nice. Extend that. Nice. We're recovering. We're recovering. It's good. We can stun this dude and kill it off finally. You go provoke that. Thank you. Alright. Can we get a stun over here? No. We need one more turn. He's going to fully heal, isn't he? He's going to fully heal. Oh, so frustrating Hydra can be. All right. Can we get back in synchronization now? Right, who are we killing here? Wait, I don't really want to attack him right now. Well, actually, I do. So what's the worst he can do? Can't do anything to me when he's got that. Because he's got no buffs up. So if I'm going to do it, now's the time to do it. Keep smacking this dude up. That's it. Block buffs. Provoke. Or not. Provoke. Thank you. Weaken. I think we're back on top now. Hey, he died. It's fine. Get a leech out. I mean, every now and then, Ugo, I'd love a leech. Just once in a blue moon. I want to take this Wrath Head out. It's pumping out so much damage right now. Oh man, Duchess is about to be... Right, heal up. We don't have Cursed. Okay, well... I guess we're just going to keep killing the Wrath Head here. Nice, Cursed out. Oh, it's a full cleanse! Oh! I'm actually losing the will to live here. I'm losing the will to live. Everything is going... Just please. Oh. I'm losing the will to live. This team has just gone wrong for like 1 second. Just literally 1 second it went wrong and I just could never recover from it because the Mischief Head balance was all wrong. Oh. Just all like, you see how good it was going and then it just fell apart because the Mischief Head cycling, the way that it came back up, was no longer able to stop. Like, it was no longer targeting Krisk. I do find like there's not a very good Mischief target. So this team has a few problems. Sometimes you can't get the Hex out enough with Chris because you have to use abilities where he's not attacking. Other times, there's not enough, like, debuffs. Not so much debuffs. There's not enough buffs to keep him focused on the Krisk, right? That's another issue. So if the Mischief gets up with the Wrath with the Provoke head, you're in, like, a lot of RNG fest zones. Because if you don't get enough, like, if you low roll a lot with Husk, then you're forced into bringing a Provoke here, right? I have to use that there, which means I'm not attacking with decreased speed. So I don't have enough decreased speed, right? So it's kind of like I've indexed so much into Krisk to do decreased speed, provokes, cursed, that in actuality, you need, like, I feel like I need more support. And this is the problem with having, like, Ugo as your primary. I wouldn't say primary, but, like, Ugo is good, but also forces you out of these things. I use that out of sync as well. Duchess also is a problem because her A2 is a 4-turn cooldown. So, yeah, Islin was fixed last patch. And yeah, sure, my Krisk build is not the greatest in the world, but you can see that I'm low rolling on the Provoke, which means probably we're going to get a full cleanse here now, which is annoying. She doesn't seem to want to do, like, Leech either, which is really annoying me today. There's the full cleanse. And this is what I'm saying about out of sync. It quickly gets out of sync. If I get a cleanse like this now I'm in a really dodgy situation because there's so many buffs out, and the damage output is going to be insane from this. The real downside with using Whisper is it makes it a lot harder to get a Mischief tank in because of the crit rate buff. She self-buffs a lot, which means she's always at a buff differential. I can't really do anything right now. I have to do that. See, I mean, it's so frustrating, this. At times, this Hydra team can be frustrating. It's crazy how people used to say, like, Krisk and Duchess is so powerful. I actually find Krisk and Duchess to be really weak. Because they take too much to set up. The cooldowns are too extreme. Like, it's a 4-turn cooldown Duchess for pretty much what you need, and now it's out of control again. Right, and then once it gets out of control, you can't really recover. And it is a little bit of a problem here that my cursed gear is not crazy good. So I appreciate it's a problem. No, you can't really replace Val. Because who's going to... If you replace Val, who's the weakened champion? Who's setting up the Whisper? That's what Val is really good at here, is he can set up the Whisper. I said, the biggest problem, if anything, I would be looking to bring Islin in. Because Islin would at least give me a counterattack buff so that it matches up with the individual crit rate buff. I still haven't got Hex out on that Mischief head. Yeah, the team's well built. I'll show you the split stats in a minute. The team is well built. It's just sometimes, like you can see here, he should keep the Chris targeted. But actually trying to sustain that all the time is hard. Because this crit rate buff causes problems half the time. And then the moment someone else gets targeted, it steals the ally protection, which means once you're dealing damage, now you're killing your own Krisk, and that's where it kind of falls apart a little bit. So as long as we can keep the block buffs up all the time, and the decreased speed on all the time, and we can also get Hex up so we can target the Mischief Head a lot, then it's generally okay. But if it gets out of whack, even for a split second, it can get problematic. And I think I'm just struggling with the balance of the team a little bit. See, crit rate buff, the differential is just a problem. And now that I don't have anything to go with it, luckily there was no block buff stolen, right? Luckily. So I can get that back up and we're fine. Sure, it's spread increased attack, but it's not the end of the world. Stand that up. So I like to try and kill the Mischief Head as quickly as possible. Just so we don't have to deal with it anymore. And he is the squishiest, which is nice, man. That double crit. So we can kill it quickly if we get a bit of uptime on it. But you see the problem. Like I actually think I need a better Mischief tank in the team somehow. Not entirely sure how I would do it. I may even have to completely drop the duo and go for a Shamael setup. So make Shamael the tank. That might even be the better solution here. Just basically make Shamael the Mischief tank, drop Krisk and Duchess, and find better options for that setup. Like bring a Brogni or I don't know, like a Elva or something. Because it is frustrating this at times. You know, at times it's absolutely fine. Other times it's a nightmare. And really, we need the dead heads. The damage mainly comes when the heads are killed. Nice, go Whisper. See, like, you'll see the damage here now, 250k. Wow, we've got an extra turn as well. To 90,000. Is Krisk awakened? I don't think so, no. But Lightning Cage would help a lot. Yeah, you're right. I keep meaning to buy the Krisk Soul, and I just never get around to it. So, as well do that. 1.1 million. And then we can go again. We can't attack that one twice. So, if we want an extra turn, just hit this. So we can get another extra turn. Provoke. Didn't get block buffs, which doesn't help. That's why I kind of saved the Husk Nuke here, so we can get Whisper out as quickly as possible. Let's do that so we don't get feared. Get that out. Give me my Whisper back, thank you. So you can see this run is going a lot better because, well, we don't have to deal with the Wrath Mischief combo. But the moment it falls out of whack is when it gets problematic. I could also probably try and put a Blood Shield on Krisk, but it's not necessarily the best reliability. We can throw that on there for a nice 1 million damage. Why doesn't GNU A3 do as much damage on decapitated heads? Because it's still maximum HP. Max HP is always capped. It doesn't matter whether they're decapitated or not. If you're fighting, if you're attacking with max HP, it'll always cap at 10% of the boss of the HP. So you can never exceed the head's HP. And when a head is decapitated, it retains its parent's max HP value. So if I if I kill this head of suffering, it'll do about 550 mil, because it's 550,000 because it's the same HP. Pump some damage on here. Get a provoke. Go on, Husk. Well done. Still get rid of some of these nastiness. Oh man, we don't have any we don't have a weaken out on anyone. It's annoying. What are we gonna get? So we got Wrath, which is okay actually, because we can find workarounds with this. Provoke. Nice. We do want to get rid of the life barrier as quickly as we can. I need to check this Ugo. She's not leeching a lot. I wonder if it's just not booked. She doesn't seem to be able to leech enough times, which is peculiar. No, I actually want to just do this, because Whisper is one of the few people that can actually do a lot of damage to this Head of Suffering. Someone remind me, what's the one key for Brutal? We can just smash this for some damage. $29.4, so about 30 mil. Oh, she's gonna leech. Yeah, but it's not even saying resisted, not in a box. It's just like... Eesh. Whisper's just about dead. Very nice. Go smack this for some damage. Nice, we do that. Boof. Oh, she's off on one. Whisper's doing her usual. She's doing a campaign. I just want to get rid of this Suffering Head. It's causing a lot of problems. With Emic. Yeah, it could work there. Yeah, you're right. I do want to, like, release Emic a little bit from Clan Boss. So probably when we come back from Vegas, I will likely rebuild the Clan Boss teams, just to unlock some champions, because having Emic locked behind a very high damage build doesn't do him any justice. He's also in Toxic, which isn't great for Hydra, you know. Just do that heal up. Don't think we're going to kill this Suffering Head in time. I think he's going to eat my Baal. I actually need to do Hydra. I probably will keep this key if I can do it. That's why I'm still persevering with this key rather than just showcasing it, because I need to do Hydra earlier this week, because obviously I'm not playing a lot next week. I won't have a lot of time when we're away, so I need to basically get it done, you know, this side of the week. And the good thing is my other two teams now are very, very stable. Like, I can easily one key the hard team, and the Nightmare team normally is a straightforward one key as well. Obviously, we're play testing for a future Hydra clash where we would need to push in high numbers, but that normal key, the hard keys we were testing earlier, normally would have been absolutely fine. Can we get a weaken? Nope. Cleanse, heal. Big damage. Ooh, nice. I gotta provoke. Husk boy, you let me down. Okay. Kind of need decrease speed there, it's nice. poison cloud, ideally. Okay. Time to do some big damage. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, 1.24 million. 6-star Whisper is no joke. And I haven't really, like, maximized her build yet. I'm sure I can go bigger. I need to provoke. Well, Whisper died. Provoke. Nice. Decrease speed out. Yeah, heal reduction, heal gone. It goes at A1 plus 5% per enemy alive. Bucks only gives. Oh, I thought it was like, but when it was 4 enemies out, isn't it per debuff though, not per enemy alive? Let's do that, I guess. Smack the damage. I should have extended there actually. Do I always run Whisper with a Reviver? Not really. I'm not really using Duchess here because she's a Reviver. I'm using Duchess here because she has the Veil. She's my Torment solution for this team. I don't have one, you know? Can I kill this? Yeah, I can kill it. And then go smack this. I did the mistake there. I should have attacked the other one. Never mind. Well, we've one keyed. It was 30 million, right? I need to stop then. Was it 30 million, yeah? I've one keyed, right? I can stop. I think I can stop, right? I'm sure I can. Yeah, cool. End battle. We're tanking this run, so... Yeah, so that's one key, isn't it? It's one key. A little bit over one key. Look at Val popping off 7.5 million. Krisk's damage is because of Hex, right? So 3 million is split between Whisper and Val somewhere. Pretty good. Nailed it. Might as well carry on. Like, we're tanking this week, so we're basically just not... Like, you can see, there's no way we're going to win, because one person's just put up, like, 34 million, so we're just, like... We're just going to do as low as possible. So if I can get these keys out of the way... we can just quickly experiment with this by dropping Asylum of the Mourner. And let's just try and see how stable it is with my Shield Brogni. My Bolster Brogni. Let's just see how stable this is, right? Going back to what we started this stream on, testing this team. Let's just see how stable it is with Shield Brogni. So this is a Bolster Brogni. This is the Brogni I use in Arena normally when I'm just pairing it with something like the like a Cupidus team or something. So he's not exactly built for this. He's not like ready to go. We'd have to rebuild him if this was away, but just as an experiment to throw him in, because we only need to do our base key here. Can we get a provoke again? Good old Strategos Islin. He's provoking a lot. We're going to play Pastor Pastor with some buffs for a while. Good old Pastor Parcel. Just kill it off now. Or not, because apparently that didn't do as much as I thought it would. Pastor Parcel. Some HP burns out. Decrease speeds. No, okay, we didn't get on that Hydra, which is what I was hoping for. It is quite a problem that Mashallah takes 2 turns, because you just end up like outrunning all your buffs. Oh, I should have provoked there. I was dumb. Should be fine. So like you can see, he's never going to be protected, but he's less of a risk of dying than everyone else. Nice bit of a cannon nuke. 1.3 million that time. Oof. Oh, I didn't even target the right... It's going to be a cleanse, it's fine. He's not even paying attention anymore. I mean, it's a very fast 1 key on hard, that's all I'm saying. It's like 3 minutes of my life if we're tanking. It's very rare that you can say that you can do Hydra for like 4 minutes and do the job. It's pretty... I think Brogni might be the answer. We'll have to see what happens when we get a Wrath Head, because that's the real test. You know, the Wrath Head is the real test here. Like, we can probably just... I'll hold that for a sec. But not having that poison dump is big. It just means that, like, often the poisons are quite a significant proportion of the damage you take. I often find that the biggest damage dealers tends to be the Torment Head because he has high multipliers, and the Poison Head because he just dumps so much like excess damage on you that you can't actually mitigate because it's based on your max HP. It's very difficult for you to do anything with it. Just basically hit that with a bit of a cannon. It's a backup burn as well, I guess, which is not terrible. I wonder if heal reduction stops the life barrier. I don't think it does it? Never thought to test it. Like, we won't be able to test it here because we're just going to kill that head so quickly. Oh, we've got dumped poisons. See, all of this is like, you know, 5, 10. There's 15% damage I'm going to take on all these poisons. It's a lot. It's quite a lot. Alright, yes. It's like we're repeating. Nice, we're decrease speed out. We can just basically drop speeds. Hit that for some turn. I think Gnishak is underrated for Hydra for that reason. Poison can do decent damage. Yeah, but the biggest risk with Gnishak is you end up putting too many debuffs out there, right? Because you essentially overfill the Provoker. If the Provoker was immune to poison, his value would be significantly higher. But because the poisoner, because the enemy head that you need to provoke is not immune, then the risk that you're running is if you end up putting like 4 bombs on the provoke head, then you end up just overfilling the bar with poisons, and then you can't actually, like, you don't actually have the ability for it to provoke, and then you lose because of that fact. That's why I'm always, like, turned away from using the Gnishak in this team, because I just feel like there's such a high probability that's going to happen if you're using him effectively. You'd have to basically run a no accuracy version of him, and I just can't see how that's beneficial. I should really stop now. Are there any activators that could be worthwhile? Poison activators. I mean, Theodore not knocks in a box, because then if you put Theodore with HP burns, you're getting the double benefit, right? You're activating both the poisons and the burn at the same time. So that could be quite good. Do you know what? I think actually Brogni might be the best option here. Because you can see it's much more stable. Anyway, we need to end this here for the 1 key. I'm just getting my keys out of the way early. I'll do Nightmare tomorrow. But Suzerain Katonn, I actually am very impressed. I was looking for an alternative to Sisia, and he came up, and I got to say, since his rework, I'm very impressed with Suzerain Katonn. It's very good. I do want a Brachus. If I had Brachus, I'd build him full damage, and I'd put him in the clan boss team, because he can do things in clan boss teams that no one else can do. Right, so we did top chest hard, top chest brutal. Look at my awful contribution to Hydra Clash. We'll do Nightmare another night. I think I've done all the clan boss today, right? Yep. So yeah. Oh yeah, you want me to show you the banners in current battle. Which builds did you want to see? So the Whisper now is at 6-star, but I haven't rebuilt it yet. I haven't really looked at a rebuild. I literally just 6-starred her. She's at now, in that run there, she was going at about 197 speed, 7.5k attack, 321% crit damage at 74% crit rate. She's a monster. She is a monster build now. We build her like this for War Master, boss killing. We need to do the math now. Is it worth Phantom Touch, or is it worth Crushing Rend so that we maximize the A3 and the A1 damage? That's what we need to calculate. Yeah, I'm going to do the math on it, Dutchy. I haven't changed it because obviously there's a cost to changing. So I want to do the math first, run some tests to see how much damage Phantom Touch is doing, then swap it over and run it. That's why I haven't changed it yet. But I'll be doing some math and a video around it to make that determination. So Val, I think I showed Val before. Val's just in Relentless Cruel. Got him in this build here just to try and get some more cruel attack. Fully booked apart from his A1, but that's incidental. Phantom Touch. He's at 235 speed, 4% ignore defense, 253% crit damage, slightly overcapped on crit rate. Probably need to adjust and take away his crit rate mastery for the attack, 5.3k attack for this build here. But again, like his build here is weak. It could be improved. Like Awakening, we need to find a crit damage gauntlets, right? So that's a big... I need to do a big portion of Shogun to get all of my main primary damage dealers in this, like you can see, crit damage builds, right? Crit damage, 12% sitting there on the board, right? The reason why Seer and Whisper have so much crit damage is because they've got 12% crit damage. They've got 20% crit damage, right? There's 32% crit damage bonus just sitting on those two pieces alone. This first swap is free, yeah, exactly. Shamael builds, I have 2 of them at the moment. But one of them is going to be... This one is going to get rebuilt on my Nightmare team because I need to take him out of lethal. He's my full damage. And this guy's just in Guardian. So super, super slow because he's a tank. Fully tank, Guardian with HP. And then just enough resistance. So he becomes a Mischief tank and just eats up a lot of the damage that the team takes. I mean, I need to do some math on Helm Smasher, to be honest, Deco. But... generally, War Master is helpful in places. For example, you can War Master through Poison Cloud better. Sometimes it helps in some incidental healing. So often I just prefer the War Master for incidental damage, right? It's a couple of million on a support champion, so it's not terrible. So if any chance you do Hydra with just epics or heck rare items, just curious. I don't like, I see the content potential, but I don't really see the value because most people will never build for that. Like, you almost like... It's fine for like the challenges we do when we do it with like Dead with Jedi and stuff because it's fun, I guess, for the competition. But most people are never going to approach Hydra in the sense that you can't use epic like legendary items, right? You're going to use some legendary items. So yeah, she's not support. It's fair. I mean, the thing is, Helm Smasher would only benefit her on 2 abilities. And when you've got... Yeah, like as Dutchy says, right? If you work it out, yeah, when if I was to put her in Crushing Rend, then she would have... She's in Relentless. So that is the only thing, Dutchy, is if I put her in Lethal, I lose Relentless. So Helm Smasher would be beneficial if you kept her in Relentless, I guess. And I still think that Relentless is better than Lethal. I would rather more opportunities to get A2s on dead heads than make that dead head do, like, a little bit more damage, right? Because it's only the A3 and the A1 that Lethal helps. I don't think it is, Dutchy. I think Relentless is just better. You've got to do the math, like... I can roll Relentless a lot more because of her guaranteed extra turns. Whereas Lethal Cruel is only going to help on the A3 and the A1, which is strong. I'm not saying it's poor. I just feel like Relentless is better. It doesn't have better multipliers than the A2. I don't know. I'll do the math, Dutchy. I'll do the math on it. I just haven't had time to get my head around it all yet. 6, the thing is, you wouldn't say that unless it's 6-star, right? And I think that's a fair assessment, that these conversations could only happen if you have the 6-star, because that gives you access to Crush and Rend, which is such a powerful ignore defense component. Otherwise, you basically want it... So, like, if you're not awakened, you want to index much more towards charged assault, because it's the maximum possible damage. Whereas at 6-star awakened, the A3 and the A1 becomes more of a competitive skill comparison. So yeah, it's an interesting math analysis, right? And that's why I want to do a full video on it, looking at Crushing Rend, Phantom Touch, 6-star Awakened, skill multipliers, full damage kits. Is it better than Relentless? Looking over a period of like 100 turns, because over 100 turns, you know, how many of those extra 100 turns are we guaranteed to get Relentless? It's a bit more complicated to work out, because we get guaranteed extra turns over those 100 turns, right? So we could roll Relentless on this, even though this gives us an extra turn. It's much more difficult to calculate. The average 100-turn champion with Whisper is going to be more, because she gets a guaranteed extra turn, right? So in 100 actions on, say, someone like Alika, well, she's got 1 extra turn every single time on a 4-turn cooldown. So 25 of those turns, she's going to get another turn. So actually, she's going at 125 turns, right? So it needs to be calculated like that. It's a lot of difficult math that I need to do and lay it out and then combine it back into a video, because there's so many factors you need to evaluate. Dandabear is gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Dandabear. As always, you are a legend. Absolute legend. I can't speak now. I want to do the math on that. I had an issue with valuing Relentless in regards to Whisper's inbuilt Relentless, so I had to stop. Yeah, it's very difficult, Shooter. It's kind of like, at what point... It could even be breakpoints, right? It could be if you're doing a 25 turn, it's not as good as a 100 turn. Does Relentless outpace Lethal at some point or not? At certain Awaken is very, very conditional. So it's going to be a fun experiment to do. Random question. Is it a bug that at sign of the boss sometimes doesn't use his nuke if only one champion is alive? I've noticed it. I think it might be on max HP nukes or something. I remember there being an issue where the boss decided not to do certain skills when maximum HP was destroyed to a certain proportion. I can't remember exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean, if you can get Whisper rolling, like... Sometimes when Whisper rolls with, like, multiple Relentless, it's brutal. She can one-shot heads just by the amount of turns. Yeah, so Emic, I need to basically take out a Toxic and build around. Now that we've got a 6-star Fushan, I'm probably going to go back to like a Myth Fu type comp with Fushan, because it feels like that's a no-brainer when you've got a 6-star Fushan. I just haven't had a chance or time to build the clan boss team out. So that's probably going to be hot on the agenda when we come back from Vegas. Razelvarg is built strong, but he's built for Fire Knight at the moment. We haven't really tried Fire Knight since. I do have a video coming out in a couple of days on the 5-star Godseeker and Eerie team. This team here. It's very good. I've saved so much time with it. It's very good. 5-star Godseeker and Eerie. So I'll be doing a video on that in a day or two, if not tomorrow, depending on how it goes. And then, yeah, I got to get some videos prepped. My original plan for the videos whilst I'm in Vegas has changed, purely because the champion guides has taken up more time than I had anticipated. So my time to record the videos. I wanted to do an in-depth fundamental series. I've not given up on it, but I don't have time to record it before I go away. So I might do some of it with a couple of other champion guides. Then I just got to get, got to get started. Tormin only, I think Tormin's passive is only active in hard mode, Daniel, because he needs it when he's ascended. Godseeker Dreng does work at 24. It just takes such a long time that eventually Godseeker dies, knocks in a box. Because the longer it goes on, the more max HP gets destroyed. The more max HP gets destroyed, the more it's difficult to recover that max HP, and then eventually you fail. I tried Godseeker in area with my 5-star Godseeker, with in area with Dreng, and it just takes too long. Can you show Ninja? Ninja's not a very good... I wouldn't replicate this Ninja build. His only job now in my account is to farm Sand Devil. So he's in Affinity Breaker in the squishiest build. Like, he's just in a random squish build. Because in my team, I want him to die. With the new fusion... Will the new fusion work in Jintoro? No. Mythia? If you disable the A2, yes. Just checking on my head. Demitha A1 doesn't matter. Eris A1 doesn't matter. Her A1 doesn't matter. Jintora's A1 doesn't matter. Who's going to be the linchpin there? So we are in Demitha, Eris, Seeker's A1 doesn't matter. And she doesn't do any termination. She places a shield equal to 10%. Debuffs. Increase attack. If you disable her A2, then it's fine. So she can replace Fushan. But I would argue Fushan is a better champion for that role than her, because I don't think this is strong enough. Like, Jintoro is not about his A1, it's about his A3, right? So him actually attacking with his A1 doesn't make much of a difference. And you already have increased attack with Seeker, so you don't gain anything from the increased attack. So you're gaining increased crit damage and an ally attack. I don't think it's worthwhile. But it could replace... If you don't have the Fushan, it could replace the Fushan, yeah. But then you lose the speed aura, right? So then you've got to get more speed. For what am I using? Marinix. I plan to do content in Clan Boss with Marinix. Right, I could replace Fushan with Marinix as an example. Just haven't done it yet because I've not had a window where I can book her. But I plan to use her as a test with this A1 in Clan Boss to see how hard I can get it hit in. I don't quite understand why you don't build your ninja faster. You could do the ninja Aniri build and still have viable further content. Well, yeah, I just don't need him in anywhere else. Like, the thing is, Shooter, he used to be my boss killer, but I got Gnut, right? So, like, I don't need him now as a boss killer because Gnut out damages him. Whisper and Gnut together are just a better boss killer than Ninja is anymore. And I think that's what it comes down to for me. Like, watch this now. 560,000. Like, Ninja can't compete with this anymore. Now that we've got Awakening passives and Awakening souls and everything else, and the bonus stats, the champions just hit so hard. I just don't think I think it's better to bring just raw damage. Shooter. I don't think he scales hard enough. That's what I found with, like, Ninja. His job in Sand Devil is really good because Sand Devil is really the only place now where max HP doesn't really work as well because you need debuffs. But even then, once I start getting maybe another Newt or something, do I even need him there? I've tested Whisper. I mean, it's not faster than my 20. He won't beat 30 seconds. You know, there's no way that me putting Ninja in here is going to beat that time. Now, it might be that you've got a different team, right? I'm not dismissing your ideas. I'm not saying Ninja's bad. I'm saying for me, Gnute and Whisper out-damage anything that Ninja could ever do. Because they just hit so hard, because they're fully awakened or they're just in a very strong state. So, how fast is she here? She is at 291. Mainly because Gnute's so fast for Fire Night Hard. Whisper on Sand Devil. Yeah, you just need the debuffs, right? But I just generally find that it's easier to run the ninja, the Aneri Ninja team like that, rather than like you need like resets, right? If I had a Kaimar, my options open up. No, because I'll show you the Sand Devil team now. What is Ruel? Ruela's doing it here. So Whisper, right? Whisper is at 70% crit rate. Okay, knocks in a box. So it means that when I want to go first, because I'm opening with Riho's A2, I get decreased defense and weaken out. But because she's not 100% crit rate, it means that Whisper might not crit on this Unyielding Flurry. So with Ruella, we open with the A3 to give ourselves increased crit rate. She's also going to fill the allies turn meter by 20%, so we get back to Riho's clear. Then, because we've got a high damage boss who can crit, we need Riho to use this ability to keep my Enfeeble tank alive. Which means when I cycle back round to it, the boss is going to take 2 turns before we get back round to Whisper's turn. But because we can't use this ability because we need to keep our Enfeeble tank alive, we're then instead using Ruella's A2 to get the decreased defense and weaken back out so we can get the Whisper's secondary rotation. So I'll show you again how it's going to work in real time, right? So Riho is going to open here with the first decreased defense and weaken. Great. That's going to set everyone else up. Nice, we go in with a Blessed Bash. Increased crit rate guarantees we crit both attacks here. Now the next time you see it, we need to cleanse because we have to get rid of those Enfeeble. And the boss goes twice, so if we didn't have Ruella, we would not have the debuffs back up, and I want to use double Riho cleanse. So that's why Ruella's in the team. She's the first crit rate buff, then she reapplies the debuff so we get those damage back out. I put her in a bolster set as well to help mitigate the damage that Renegade takes. But yeah, if I had a Kaimar, I could do so many more different teams. The reason why Ninja doesn't need to be faster, honestly, Ninja could just go slower. Because this is what Ninja does now. He gets revived. He burns. I want him to die. Excellent. And here we go. This is the video I've got coming out tomorrow, is on this team. Dies. Boom. This is where I was saying about Drang takes too long. So you can see that bit by bit, Aneri is losing max HP. But because Ninja's so rapid at doing this, it's not a problem. Whereas if Drang's doing this, it takes him like 5 minutes and eventually Aneri just can't cope with it and dies. Yeah, With is a great Enfeeble tank. YST championed that. Chronum is the best option, basically. If you haven't got a Ninja, go get a Chronum. And I can get this even faster than this. This run is quite slow because Ninja here is all about how well Affinity Breaker works. This run is particularly slow because we've had a lot of resists. Yeah, for my build, Doxy, for this particular build is what I'm saying. I tried it with Drang, and because of the way that I've configured this team, it's not good enough with Drang. You wish YST would show Master? Just ask him. He'll let you know. Ninja's an Affinity Breaker here. Because Affinity Breaker is very good for one-hit wonders. If you have an ability you just need to do, and nothing else, Affinity Break is the way to go. But generally, you would rather run someone other than... You'd rather run just more speed instead of Affinity Break over a longer fight. If you can take multiple turns, then you would rather run speed, right? Because it's better to just use the skill again than run a 50-50 dice check. Whereas if you just want to use it once, then Affinity Break is good. So Aneri now, in this build, for that team there, 187 speed. And it can go slower. 187 speed. It can go slower than this. It can go slower. The video goes into the detail in terms of the slowest speeds you can run. This is a bit faster than it needs to. We are utilizing this, the speed from the food, so this does help. But compare that to my old build, which was 272, right? This was what it used to be for that stage, 272. It's now 187. It's a big build. I run Defiant Regeneration. I like Defiant for the AoE damage reduction. It's by far not the I can go crazier with the build. It's a good build, but you can see, like, this is double flat. This is pretty okay, but no defense percentage there. This shield is probably the better piece. This is okay with HP on HP, but you can see there's no defense percentage. There's no... so we miss out there. Defense with crit damage, not the best substat roll. HP on HP is pretty good. Crit damage rolls is a waste. I can go a lot more extreme with this build. I ran this for all of the Sand Devil tournament. It failed 0 times. Is there a Chronum? No. I am actually working my way towards Chronum. Jessica's been doing one of my referrals here. I need to do 2 more referrals, basically. And then I can actually show Chronum working. I haven't been able to really... I keep saying he can be a sub. I haven't been able to show it because essentially I haven't got him, and I hate doing referrals. But once I get these done, I'll be able to do some content on it, so... yeah, YST has a Discord. I'll send it now, hang on. That's YST's Discord if you want to join it and ask him. He's pretty good, he'll ask a question. You can always ask in my Discord as well, and I'll get the answer for you. If you just ping me, I can always go and ask him for it. Yeah, Jessica has been working like a trooper. Done 2 of mine. And Magnadra, who donated some at the start. This is obviously my free-to-play. I haven't given up on my free-to-play, just haven't got time to play at the moment. I'll tell us if you can get me Hydra and then Fateless. Fair trade. I don't know about that. Any idea what Aneri speed needs to be for 1-to-1 with a 1-star survival instinct on stage 25? Probably 272, Tito. Right, so this run here, there's other speed variations, but this build here goes 1-to-1 with 3 food dying with this, right? Spirit Haste with 3 food dying. This goes 1-to-1 against the boss. 272 speed is the minimum it can be, absolute minimum. But it's hard to get a tanky build, you know? Damn, this fusion, nice. 3 if you count the free-to-play account. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Actually, you did a load on the free-to-play account, didn't you? I forgot about that. So, but yeah, so we'll do that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there because I need to get some better rest times at the moment and try and, like, get some energy back before we go to Vegas. So, you know, great stream, I think. We kind of got some Hydra done. I think that's the first time... I want to say that's the first time in 4 months that I've ever done Hydra keys on Thursday. No, that's not fully booked. There's a 5-turn cooldown book. My specific speeds run with a 1 minimum hit, a 1 maximum. Has to be 6 turns. The one that I just showed you is fully booked. The 5-star, but it kind of you can get away with 3-star if you can get like a really big build. It's very hard though. I found it too difficult. 5-star is almost essential. Here you can just do this with, it has to be 1 maximum and then at least one here. You can have these fully booked, but it needs at least one here and no more than one here for my particular team. So that one I've done a video on, so you can watch that. So this new video will be the third time I've done a different Aneri ninja team. I'm sure the comments will be full of, why are you only talking about ninja? Ninja's always this, ninja that, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, what can you do, right? What can you do? But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. This will be the last stream now, like official game stream here. There'll probably be streams we do whilst we're out in Vegas, and we'll obviously be doing content and stuff. But this is the last stream until probably like 2 weeks today. So the next stream is probably going to be the 26th. If I'm alive when I come back from Vegas, might make it the 27th. I might stream on the weekend, but I highly doubt it. It depends on what mood I'm in. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Don't gamble. Honestly, I'm not going to gamble a lot. Gambling is not for me. You know, the biggest challenge is going to be, can I not incinerate in the sun? Am I able to keep my pale complexion not from being red, burnt, and dead? So, how are you supposed to survive 2 weeks of that stream? I don't know. It's going to be weird for me. I'll be out of like balance with it. So, it is a real threat, Nox in a box. Honestly, the first thing I need to buy tomorrow before I start packing the suitcase is suntan lotion. So, it'll be fun. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll keep you updated as we're going. But yeah, see you in a couple of weeks.